for their families, especially Black men, because every day you guys fight a whole bunch of battles that people don't see and a lot of people don't understand. And I would love for you guys to get together and talk more vulnerably and openly about it, so you guys can understand that you're not the only one going through things. And you know, there's other people that you can lean on and build your village around. And with that being said, I love guys. I love men. Yeah, I love anyway. And I feel like my rant is, if y'all motherfuckers don't stop like blaming women for every single thing. I mean, I know you mad at everything, but it's not the pussy's fault though. You know what I mean? It's, you got to take some self accountability, guys, right? Okay? Be responsible for your decisions. Okay? It's not women. We are accountable. Trust me. I don't say shit yet, Raw. Okay, I'm not done. I'm not done. This rant ain't done. Because what you guys got to do is just like sometimes like, self-assess and be like, I'm the one that's fucked up, and it's not, I don't need to go get another bitch to piss on. You know what I mean? What? Hey, yo. Okay, now I'm done. Because why you going to put hectic on when I said the piss and shit?
So the fact that this is supposed to be a rant about men's mental health money, you still found a way. You found a motherfucking way.
You know I was going to do it, Raw. You know
found
I was going to do it.
Way. Goddamn, Freddie. Because it's Face Beat Freddie, I feel like I got to let it go. Because you might be in rare form tonight. We like Face Beat Freddie. So we're going to see what happens.
I told you I just had to fly in from a taco land. The Yemenites was beefing. I had to get the little booties and the flatbacks together. I had to go and
I feel like you was in the bathroom like, call me now. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Got you.
Exactly.
Do you think she was in the mirror saying, call me now?
I'm just saying the pussy didn't do it. Y'all got to chill on that.
The pussy always does it.
Not too much on us. Not too much on the
pussy. Has ruined many lives.
No, sir.
No, sir. Raw. Now, Raw, I've talked about this before. It's not the pussy that does it. It's the coochie bitches that do it. No. It's the coochie ass bitches that do it.
No. The niggas don't give a fuck about the coochie.
Yeah, coochie.
The pussy is what destroys lives. The coochie don't matter.
Yeah,
coochie is just coochie. The pussy, that's a whole nother animal right there.
I told you, I know it is. It's a monster.
All the
it's a monster. This thing's head all down. We couldn't even see him if his head was up anyway. What's up?
My head is down because I'm just over here.
You bleeding shit easy.
Yeah, I'm feeling some type of way. I'm kind of depressed after that. It's Men's Mental Health Month, and you just made me depressed, Freddie. Because I'm gonna tell you this. If you
I'm showing my titties to make up for it.
If you watch Tom and Jerry,
ain't that what y'all be wanting? Like, bitch, shut up and show me some titties.
Listen, if you watch Tom and Jerry,
we do, but goddamn, this wasn't the platform for that.
If you watch Tom and Jerry, it's always Tom's fault. If you watch Tweety Bird, it's always Sylvester's fault. If you watch Batman, Catwoman got him in some shit. It's always the pussy. Always the pussy.
Tom,
I don't know how Tweety Bird ended up being what is always the pussy, but I'm with you.
Because Sylvester's a cat. He tried to eat Tweety Bird. Tweety minding his own fucking business. Here come fucking Sylvester coming around.
Okay. Time out. What did you say?
Technically.
Wait, what you just said this.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's minding its own fucking business.
And then Sylvester's pussy ass comes around and Tweety was like, I thought I saw a putty tat. And that's exactly how us men are. We minding our business and here y'all come with your yams out, with your hams out, with your titties out. And I thought I saw a putty tat. I did.
I'm so sorry.
Saw a putty tat. And then all the problems start from there. The moment we saw the putty tat, all the problems start from there.
And it's our fault because we got the putty tat.
I am very appreciative of Freddie's rant. I give it to you, Freddie.
You sound like a bitch right now. Get the fuck out of here.
When you talk about accountability, I was like, damn, this sounds fucking familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, this sounds familiar. When were we talking about accountability? Shit. And I do appreciate you with your titties because you were talking your titties doing this shit here like this. So I do appreciate you serving them on a platter for us, for our viewers.
I like to enunciate when I speak. I say it with my chest.
Hey, yo.
And you do. And
hey, listen.
I am here for Beat Face Freddy. I know it's going to be some bullshit tonight.
He beating my face.
I know it's going to be some bullshit tonight.
You know it's going to be.
I'm here for it.
Why it gotta be bullshit?
Come on, Face beat Freddy always on some other shit.
Who beating the face tonight, Freddie?
Right, that's what I want to know. That's what Hectic said.
One Hectic. I'm telling you, my glass was never empty last week, and I don't even want to talk about Sunday.
Are you giving yourself a limit today?
Well, I'm not even drinking that. I'm drinking tequila today. Tequila is my friend.
Oh shit!
It'd be fucking worse.
That stuff. That stuff in that bottle that they have this evening. Never.
Hey, she said tequila is healthier.
It is. That's what I'll say. It's less calories.
So from what it sounds like, this shit about to get crazy. So let's get
do it.
Hold on, baby. Chill. Hold on. You know what time it is, man. Come on, man. All on the table, a cast unmatched, get outclassed. Who's not typecast for telling fables? The artifacts just kick back, enjoy the panel. With true flies in all sides, get different angles. With grown talk the mission, small talk is missing. Free talk don't always equate to your addition. The difference, no misstep in intellect, delayed stress. This podcast a safe bet. Stay enlightened.
All right, man. We said we're going to end Men's Mental Health Month off strong, man. We're going to talk money, mental health, and masculinity, even though Face Beat Freddy going to try to destroy everything we say tonight, and we here for it, Freddy.
I'm not. I'm
we
here to
for
be
it tonight, Freddy.
Queen Matako is very supportive today.
Lies and deceit. Lies and deceit.
She's sitting over there in her
Don't trust the big button to smile.
She's
Don't trust the big button to smile.
She's sitting over there wearing her lashiki. I'm telling you.
Hey, that's it. I hear you easy. You stupid.
Nigga. All right, so we got two guests in the building tonight, man. We definitely want to talk about these breadsticks, how to get to them, what you should do with them, and all that shit. So we got Stacey Gray in the building. What's up with you?
Hi, thank you. Good night. Thank you for having me on your program.
Good night. You leaving already?
Damn.
No, I'm Caribbean. We say good night for everything, even when it's in the morning. We say good night.
It's like, we ain't even get the introduction.
Yeah, we ain't like yo. We don't. I said, damn, she just got on screen. She about to leave. What the fuck going on?
She was like, who all over there?
Facts. Facts. Next up, we got Chuck in the building. What's up with you?
How's everybody doing this evening?
What's good, Chuck?
How you doing, Chuck?
We good. Goody gumdrops. So, Stacey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
No, the fuck? What was that?
What?
Goody gumdrops?
Goody gumdrops?
Yeah, so y'all gonna act like y'all ain't never heard me say that shit
We
before?
Never heard you say that shit.
Wait, hold on. So when we was doing happy hour, I say it, and Easy and Flan say,
Hold up.
shut the fuck up, Hector. You asked me a question, and I'm trying to answer it, so shut the fuck up. So, first time this nigga heard me say, what the fuck is goody gumdrops? Who says that spicy ass shit? I say what the fuck I say, nigga. It is what it is.
Secondly, I tried to forget about it. That's why I don't remember.
All people on the planet, nigga, you can't talk about anybody.
I don't say goody gumdrops.
But you wear Spanx. I'd rather say goody gumdrops than wear Spanx, my nigga. It's a big fucking difference. Hey, drink your drink and shut the fuck up. We are in a
different caliber too when it comes to other things.
So don't drink that shit.
I have no clue what that means, but that sounds real spicy when you said that shit. Don't ever say that shit again, my nigga. So, Stacey,
yes,
what these niggas talking about? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Stacey. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. My background, I started off as a medical biller. I'm also a business coach. I have a vegan cosmetics line called the Jill Collection. I have a podcast called Stacey Talks Money. And I also have a virtual online tax preparation business where I do taxes, bookkeeping, payroll, business formation, all of the good stuff. all of the money stuff.
Roger the fuck that. And that's the reason why this is masculinity, money, and mental health, because you are the money part. So when we get to the mental health part, Chuck, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I'm originally from Philly. I am a licensed master social worker.
Hold on, time out one time. Say, you from where?
Philly.
So I dare you to try that shit tonight, Hectic. It's 3 of us here, nigga.
You said that many different times.
It's 3 of us here tonight, nigga.
Chuck, I probably will like you as a human being as long as you not siding with him, who is a big fan of Uzi Vert and Will Smith.
Nigga, shut the fuck up. Fuck out of here. Go ahead, Chuck. Tell us about yourself.
I'm a licensed master social worker. I have worked in many phases of mental health, from in the community to in a prison to behavioral health facilities. I've worked with children. Mental health is a passion for me because we need it as a community.
Roger the fuck that. Let me ask you this, Chuck. When it comes to men's mental health, right, especially as Black men, what would you say would be the first thing we should be doing to protect our mental health?
Being honest with ourselves. Everything starts and ends with honesty. If you are not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anyone else. So if you can't identify you have a problem, then people just gonna keep doing what they're doing, and you'll keep hitting your head up against the same proverbial wall. So you have to be honest that there is a problem.
When you say a problem, what we mean?
Depression, anxiety, stress, anger.
But can I ask this?
Sure.
Men don't have emotions. Women are emotional.
Everyone has.
Men aren't emotional. That's what. What's that?
Men aren't allowed.
Say that shit again. I don't think she heard you.
No, because I heard him, but that's what I mean. So that's what I mean. Some of the conversations are men are like, nah, we ain't emotional like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they stop it right there. So explain, how do you get someone to open up then?
You have to change the conditioning. In order for a man to admit that he even have emotions, he has to feel something. Men go on autopilot. I have a mission. I have a family to support. I have to make this shit happen no matter what's going on. I don't have time to feel. So men don't get to feel. That's why I say men don't. It's hard to be a man. And if you're not a man, it's easy to talk for men. But if you've never been a man, it's hard to walk in these shoes.
Preach.
I agree.
Especially in our community, because
I agree.
Don't cry. You acting like a sissy. You acting like a bitch. You acting like a girl. Suck it up. That's not safe.
I'm not. Well, okay.
We heard our whole life, like, boys don't cry. Boys don't be sad.
Put some dirt on it, nigga.
Like, you get your ass popped in football practice. Coach is like, walk it off.
So can I ask the fellas here now, since that was how you were brought up, how do you interact with your sons or your youth? What do you say to them? Do you tell them, put some dirt on it? Do you say, nigga,
It depends what it is.
No,
because there is I think, especially with society today, we are trying to overcorrect a lot of the generational curses. So it's now to the point where it's like, cry all day. I don't, you have emotions now. Cry all. It's a happy balance.
It's got to be
even for us grown men.
I actually have 2 sons, right? And since they was young, my wife and I have given them space to where speak your mind. Don't hold that shit in. Rather you mad about something, if you feel some type of way, if you sad about something, speak on that shit. Because when you hold it in, that's when that shit eat away at you, and then you start doing Columbine type shit. And we ain't got time for that.
See, I was a kid growing up. Like I held everything in because I had all sisters. I didn't have no brothers. Like my uncles and my dad was the toughen up, stop crying, stop being a bitch type of people. So I was in college the first time I heard you need to cry and let this out. You need to be angry, but you need to sit in your room angry by yourself and then talk to somebody about why you was angry.
Yeah.
Figure out how to work through that emotion before you do something in that emotion that you regret.
Absolutely.
Because women want you to cry, but not cry in front of them. They want you to show emotion, but if you show me too emotion, you a bitch. How you gonna protect
Can
me?
you don't say women, because again, Freddie welcomes the tears. I will let them roll down to my fupa and they will roll up in my belly button and pool. I like men's tears. They be the saltiest.
Wow, that I don't know. That sounded a little sinister.
Yeah,
I like when you cry.
That's some witchcraft. Over there putting tears
Nah,
in
all
the
jokes
bottle.
aside. Nah, for real, all jokes aside though, I don't mind being a safe space for a dude. You know what I'm saying? For somebody who needs to talk. Because a lot of people seek me out anyway, and I just be like, dang, I didn't want to hear none of this. But I let it happen because they clearly need to get something off their chest.
It doesn't even have to be somebody I'm connected to. You know what I mean?
It's not.
You need a space.
Yeah.
A space, and I'm gonna make it safe. And
y'all got to understand. I don't think a lot of females be understanding sometimes that y'all be rare breeds.
Oh, I know that. I do.
It's not a lot of women that think like y'all. A lot of women really don't give a fuck about a nigga's feelings. Could give two shits.
Oh, I've heard it. I've heard it.
You cried, nigga, you can't protect me, but at the same time, why you don't never open up? Why you don't never tell me shit?
Exactly.
What the fuck I'm gonna tell you shit for if you gonna call me a bitch for it? That don't even make sense.
Well, that's the conversation. That's a conversation that's had a lot of times when men cheat, because the woman they cheating with is the one that actually provide that safe space for them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tried to tell you, I tried to open up to you, but you wouldn't listen, so I went to her.
So
I had a situation once where I was feeling my vulnerable self, and I was talking to the person that I was, engaging in some stuff with, and she was like, "Stop bitching." I was like, "Roger that. Never again. Never again did I ever tell her a fucking thing."
And it's, for me, it all depends on, like, if you was calling her like, man, I got a little splinter in my toe, then I could see if she said, like, stop bitching.
It was just a moment of weakness. Now, and see, that's the thing. Whether the moment of weakness is that splinter or a moment of weakness is something monumental. At that moment, it's a moment of weakness.
Yeah.
So if a dude called me and was like, his poop hurt and he might have hemorrhoids, and I laugh a little bit.
Listen,
is that wrong? Is that wrong? He was being vulnerable, but that shit wasn't so funny because I was like, bruh, it's just some hemorrhoids, bruh. Push them back in or something. I don't know what you're gonna do.
I would laugh if my wife told me that too, so I get it. But at the same time, I would expect my wife never to tell me that shit again, because I laughed. I know she's probably not gonna say it again. And as a dude, when you don't accept my emotions, I'm not telling you shit ever again.
Ever.
So you gotta understand that.
Like,
no, I get that. I get
it. The man and woman dynamic is a simple dynamic. Women say they want a man to lead, but you don't trust him to lead. You trust him to pay bills, but you don't trust him to make decisions that's overall good for the well-being of the family. So how do you get both? You want a man to be vulnerable, but you call him a bitch when he's being vulnerable. Like, that's why men go on autopilot. And cheating is just a byproduct of it. But then they become emotionally abusive. They become financially manipulative. So in your rant earlier, y'all play a larger role than y'all care to take credit for.
It's not the pussy.
Oh, yeah.
The pussy.
That, Freddie? Accountability.
It's the person the pussy is attached to.
What it is, men and women is a yin and a yang. We got to understand one another, but we'll never try to. I mean, we never really will if the desire isn't there. If it's always a blaming, rather than self-assessing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm listening, Chuck. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's fine. That's typical women speak. Because you can't have an honest conversation if you deflect everything that's being said. We all are at fault. We all contribute to the breakdown. Instead of focusing on his part of the breakdown, listen to why he said he felt that way, whether you agree with it or not. And you can get a lot more out of him than saying, well, I did that because you did this.
Right.
You're not listening. You're not listening to hear. You're listening to respond, and that's why men don't communicate. That's why men shut the fuck up. That's why men go out and drink and gamble and fuck with other bitches because there's no peace at home. Because those other bitches, it costs me whatever it's gonna cost me. You're gonna suck my dick. I'm a bust, and I'm gonna go about my business. I gotta come home and deal with you.
Like Chuck.
I didn't pay all the bills.
Enough.
I didn't put all the food on the table. You got everything that you could possibly want, and it's still not enough. Like, who wants to come home to that every day?
Women's intuition usually tells a motherfucker exactly the point, the moment when that nigga's cheating. That nigga out there with that bitch. I fucking know it. But women's intuition somehow don't never fucking work when it comes to saying, damn, this nigga's not happy.
He might be a little sad. He might be a little sad.
It's amazing how that motherfucking works.
But it's crazy because
concern for a man. A man's happiness, he has to provide his happiness. And once men understand that no one else can make you happy, it won't matter what you do.
Yeah, because it's crazy. A lot of women will recognize when a man's not happy, and then they start talking about everything that they do. And it's like, you have to know this person well enough to understand them, to know whether or not what you're doing and what you like. You can't make them happy if they're not happy with what you're doing. It don't matter what you're gonna do. But it's like the nagging, like, I asked you to do this an hour ago, and it's not something that's so important to do. Like, the trash truck don't come until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. I'm not taking the trash out right now just because you said so. But every hour you bugging me about it. Like, that kind of thing builds up. And then when it's like, well, you're nagging me, so I'm agitated right now. Well, I asked you to take out the trash and you didn't do it. If you did what I asked you to do, I wouldn't have to nag. And it's like, read the room. I got 18 hours. 18 hours.
There's a larger dynamic at play with that because most oftentimes in our communities, our women treat men like children and treat their children like men.
Facts.
That's crazy.
And
that's crazy.
It's
crazy too.
And it's a dangerous game that we play.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, though?
Because we allow it.
And why do we allow it? For the pussy.
No, because that's how we've been programmed.
To shut the fuck up because we want some pussy later. We shut the fuck up because we want our dick sucked. So we allow certain shit.
You don't even care about after a while. You don't even care about getting your dick sucked. You just don't.
And that's when you out creeping.
Yeah, but see, our mamas did that shit to our daddies. Our grandmas did it to our grandmas. So naturally,
grandma, nah, I don't think it was that tough back then. Like,
grandma G-Mon was chilling.
It depends though, because like for us, not our grandmas, because our grandmas were followers. Like, they let our grandfathers lead, but I'm talking like our kids, like this next generation of young adults. They saw their grandmother run their grandfather. They saw their mom run their dad. And so,
well, they also being programmed by social media and everything else. Yeah. Like, there's no individual thoughts anymore. So it is monkey see, monkey do.
Mm-hmm. And then you also got to understand too, the dynamic of the household is broken down because
non-existent.
About like, you don't have fathers in the household as prevalently as we had, right? And like, even for us, the generation before us, most of our grandfathers were at home. A lot of our dads weren't, and that's getting less and less and less. And you got a lot of women raising men or raising boys that think they're becoming men, but they are really becoming masculine women.
Big fucking fact.
Hey, so hold on, real quick. I told you I like Preacher Easy.
And it's not a blame game. It's a whole story. They're not there just because they don't want to be there. Like,
it's the reason a lot of these niggas is moving out the way. Y'all see the shit with what's the nigga DDG or whatever?
DDG,
like, this shit's bananas. Like, hold on, real quick, Stacey. Coming from you in New York, correct?
Yes, Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
And in New York, y'all aggressive as a motherfucker by nature. Like, that shit is in y'all blood to be ultra aggressive, right? So when you hear this conversation, hear this conversation about men not being able to show emotion or shut the fuck up or stop bitching, and y'all automatically aggressive as fuck, how do you feel about actually hearing men actually talk emotionally right now, technically, about this shit?
I mean, for me, I feel it's something that's not right. I feel women sometimes do nag men too much, even though I'm a woman. But I just feel like some women, like the gentleman was saying about the garbage thing. It's like, okay, you said it once, you keep saying, you keep nagging, you keep building up. He has other things, other pressures, other things he's worried about, and it's like the littlest things you keep nagging, and I see it here a lot. It's just. I don't know if it's the environment, if it's just a New Yorker thing, but you do see it a lot. Even in like young men, little boys, you see that aggression so early in them. Sometimes 4 and 5 years old, they have all of this aggression. They're fighting in school. There's a reason why.
Fucking crazy, man. All right, I think it's about time we get into our first motherfucker segment of the day. Why not? This conversation, I feel like it's gonna get ape shit at some point. But we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna piss Freddie off for sure. It's going down.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Hey. Okay. All you hip hop junkies, you think you know hip hop? Well, tell me what happened today in 2005. Better yet, tell me what happened today in 1989. We know you don't know. That's why Easy about to break this day down in hip hop for you.
Yo, so in my haste and promising to talk about more than birthdays and album releases, this week that literally is all that happened. There's no events, nobody died. Everybody was either born or dropped new music. So we're just gonna get right into it. We got one birthday this week. Schoolie D was born on June 22nd. For those of you that don't know who Schoolie D is, you might want to go do a little bit of research, because that's who Ice-T tried to steal his entire style from back in the day. And then in terms of releases, we got 1998, Public Enemy dropped their second album, Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us. Big Daddy Kane in 1988 on the same day dropped his debut, Long Live the Kane, and that shit was just a classic. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane. June 25th, 1991, Pete Rock and CL Smooth dropped All Sold Out. And then and then June 27th, 2000, Lil Kim dropped Notorious K.I.M. But these next three I'm about to talk about were some game changers in hip hop. So the first one in 2000, Nelly dropped Country Grammar. I know a lot of y'all not Nelly fans. Hold on, man. Listen to me. Because here's what
you know you want to call bullshit on something.
You always want to call bullshit without listening to the whole story. I know you're not a Nelly fan. I know you hate on Nelly. I know you mad because he stole your style and came out before you did. But here's what makes Nelly a game changer. So I want you to listen to the modern hip hop artists with the sing-songy shit. Nelly did that first.
No, he didn't.
Nelly,
well, I was about to say, nigga, if
did it.
Give it a job.
Ja Rule did it. Ja Rule did it in a different manner. Like Ja Rule did it in the way that Drake does it. Nelly did it in the way
Drake
that Rock
does it in the way Ja Rule.
What?
Correct. Nelly did it how kind of like a Rod Wave and all these new artists that are like they're singing
and all them.
Yeah, they're singing more than they're rapping. Like Ja Rule rapped and sang like Drake does, but these guys are like essentially R&B artists on hip hop beats or want to be R&B artists, but they can't really sing. All right, in '94, the Brat dropped Funkdafied. My goodness, that fucking album was on repeat at my house all day, every day for months. I was the biggest Brat fan. And the reason
like still don't get enough respect.
I had never heard a girl rap like that. Like I was listening to Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. The Brat was just gangster with it. I was like, yo, hold up. This a girl.
She had actual bars too.
Bars. And I was like, even for a minute, I was like, nah, Jermaine Dupri writing this. But then when you realize Jermaine Dupri actually don't write that good a rap, there's no way he was writing that. Like this early shit he wrote for Bow Wow, you were like, yeah, Jermaine Dupri wrote that.
Wow, jump, all that type shit. Yeah.
But then this last one, I'm sure everybody on this panel will agree.
Let's hear it.
1996. The floodgates opened up and gave us Reasonable Doubt.
My God.
I knew you were going to say it.
God.
Yeah.
My God.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. If not the greatest hip hop album of all time, definitely top 3. And it ain't 3.
True story. Reasonable Doubt came out. I heard 2 songs and I didn't want to listen to the album. The beats was too slow for me, so I wasn't really feeling it at the time, right? And then in my not in my lifetime, what was the volume 1? What was the name of that shit?
Am I like
Sean Carter?
Yeah.
No,
The Life
Am I
and
like
Times.
was
That
volume?
was.
Whatever the volume 1 shit was. When
Life.
that shit dropped, I listened. I said, "Damn, this nigga's tough." I didn't even realize it was the same motherfucker
Yeah.
that did Reasonable Doubt, and it made me go back and listen
Well
to
done.
the first 2 Reasonable Doubt. And to this day, now Reasonable Doubt is probably out of Jay's catalog my second favorite album.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Because that was gonna be my question. Is what's
hear it.
everybody's favorite Jay-Z album?
For me, it would be God damn it, American Gangster.
That is very underrated. That is as complete a body of work that he's ever crafted.
Facts.
Word.
I think people got so caught up in, oh, they just dropped the movie, blah blah blah, that they didn't realize that was a dope fucking album.
That was a very dope album.
Start to fucking finish, lyrically, fucking beat wise, the whole production was just crazy. Like that shit literally was a movie.
Yeah. So Chuck, what would be your favorite?
Between Reasonable Doubt and Volume 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's volume 2 for me.
Like just because of the impact. I look at albums and where I was at in my life when they happened.
Yeah.
So I may even go Blueprint 1 just because of when it dropped and where I was at when it dropped and what it did for me when it dropped. So I would go Reasonable Doubt and or Blueprint 1.
Okay. And then Tasha, you said it was
It's gonna be volume 2, and I'll tell you why. Like I got into rap really, really late. Like I don't think I started listening to rap till senior year in high school. So I had a lot of backtracking to do to catch up. So Reasonable Doubt, like Ross said, wasn't one of my favorite ones. And then volume 1 dropped. I'm like, okay, absolutely. But then volume 2, because it was gimmicky and it was girly, but then it also had DMX and the locks and them. And I'm like, yeah, I can roll with this brother right here. I can roll with him.
I feel like Tasha and Chuck agree with me. Like back then, listening to hip hop, like you wanted us, you had to hear those gritty, crazy, grimy, different type of bars. So listening to a nigga with a smooth ass flow, these chill ass beats, it just didn't hit the same pause as everything else that was out at the time.
Yeah. Freddie, what's your favorite, Freddie?
So I was used to it. Like Big Daddy Kane is early Jay-Z.
Yeah, facts.
That's true.
They say that.
So I was around for Long Live the King. I was around for A Nation of Million. It Takes a Nation of Million to Hold Us Back. Like that was the beginning of my childhood.
Hey, old.
Leave that man alone.
Facts. We all of a specific age with a
we are all seasoned.
Except for me, I'm the youngest.
We are all seasoned.
I'm not old.
All right, Freddie, what's your favorite Hove album?
Y'all gonna be mad at me, but it's none of them. Like
I knew that's
none of them.
If this was opposite day, Freddie's definitely winning.
No, it's because I've never been, but honestly, like I'll give you the Dynasty. You know what I'm saying? I like that album because it is for that time period in my life. It was a fun ass summer. So I give you that.
I'll take that.
Hectic.
So I'll just tell you the first time I heard Reasonable Doubt, I wasn't allowed to listen to this hippity hop stuff that was going on. Yeah. And one of my cousins who had a more free, thoughtful household brought the cassette over. Yes, I said cassette.
Absolutely.
Nigga, we all old.
Hector, we all had cassettes.
We all old as shit.
No. I ain't talking about you. I am talking about the viewers.
They old as shit too, nigga. What the fuck you mean?
So yeah, he handed me a cassette. He was like, when I spin the block, I'll pick it up. So he left it with me for like a good solid month. And I was like,
you listen to it every day.
What the fuck is this? Yeah. That was my, like, what is this? Like, I heard hip hop through passing, but to actually listen to a whole album was like, yo, and it changed my whole perspective on hip hop since then. I couldn't get away from it. But Volume 2 would be my favorite.
Okay.
Because like everyone else said, I was getting money. I had people that was interested in me.
Oh yeah, the bitches.
You was about to say the bitches. You was about to say bitches.
The bitches. Just say it.
I had bitches.
I had a lot of options. So I thought I was it. And Volume 2 came out.
As you should, Smoke Dog. As you should.
Yep.
And my homie, like we were on break at work, and he was like, "Yo, he didn't even tell me. He just put something on." And this is when the Hard Knock Life, and I was like,
he took Annie.
They using the Annie sample.
He took Annie.
Hector took Hard Knock Life to a whole new level.
Yo, I was grinding after that. I jeweled up everything. Like you couldn't tell me nothing when I was young.
Hector was just
Volume 2 is my thing. Right. I was Rockefeller out.
All right, Courtney, what was your favorite Jay-Z album? And welcome to the conversation.
Hey. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really a hip hop head, so I can't even tell you my favorite Jay-Z album. I'm R&B all the way. So
okay.
I mean, it's certain songs that I like from him. So I did like Hard Knock Life. And I do know other songs from him, but it's like, if you bring them up, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that one. But as far as albums, like, no, that's not me.
No, I dig that. All right, Stacey, I obviously saved you for last because you're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And guess what? Growing up, I wasn't into hip hop.
Okay.
Until later on, like after high school. I like the Fugees. I really wasn't into like Jay-Z and all that. Nas was okay, but I can't say I'm a hip hop head, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, the Fugees were crazy. So
that's an album I actually listened to the entire. I can say, and Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. Fuji Law was crazy.
That's what's up.
It was crazy.
So because we in this mindset, right? I had a question for Tasha, but I got to spin the block back to Chuck. Chuck, how would you say music itself plays a part in your mental health?
It's the key. Music speaks to your soul. It's a song, a genre that can represent the mood, the space, the time that you're in. It gives you the ability to think. You can juxtapose yourself to those places. Music is vital in mental health.
Okay, so Hectic, me and you went to a soca party, right? And I ain't never been in no shit like that before. And I thought it was dope. I ain't gonna lie, it was dope as shit. I appreciated it. You know what I mean?
No problem.
But in my mind, I'm listening.
To be part of my culture.
Fuck all that. But in my mind, I'm listening to the music.
Hey, did he wear the tiger stripe pants, Spanx, bro?
So I'm gonna be honest, Freddie. If he would have tried, we wouldn't have went.
We wouldn't have gone.
Yeah. You got one time to wear Spanx around me as a grown man, and we never thought that shit again.
He wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have known.
Nigga, I wouldn't have went.
I did some ghetto shit.
This is what it is.
I did do some ghetto ass shit though. I'm not.
No, he definitely did. He definitely did. I can say that. He definitely did. But that's another story for another time. But when we was there, I'm listening to the music, right? And I'm looking around at the people, and everybody was like turned up, like in the element, zoned the fuck out. But I'm one of those people that when I listen to music, I listen to words. And I'm listening to the words in majority of all the music. And in every song, I ain't gonna say every song. A nice bit of the song was some of the most fucked up shit that you could say. You know what I mean? So it's like when I hear y'all two saying I couldn't listen to rap, but I'm listening to the shit that y'all grew up on. I'm like, what's so fucking different from the shit that y'all heard? Especially when hip hop technically was created in the Caribbean, some fucking where. I know Hector gonna bring the shit
Jamaica.
up. It is what the fuck it is. I don't give a fuck.
Jamaica.
But
Jamaica.
look, I knew he was gonna fucking say it. What's the difference? Why couldn't y'all listen to hip hop, but it was okay for y'all to listen to the crazy
Soca.
shit they was saying in y'all's music? Like, what
what was
made it
so
so
crazy
different?
about what they were saying?
So, well,
We're
Some,
talking
I
about
ain't gonna say
Tunchi.
every song. Certain songs was just it was like, all right. I know a lot of people say like hip hop is super
Hypersexual,
degrading,
hyper violent, like what?
hypersexual, super degrading to women, and I'm
Okay.
listening to the
Sometimes
soca, and I'm
all
like,
of it in
damn,
one
like
song.
they talking greasy to these bitches. Like that shit is bananas. Like, and it's so smooth, and it's like the women is loving this shit, and it's like, God damn, he talking mad greasy to you right now, and you loving this shit. But when y'all saying hip hop, y'all couldn't listen to growing up, but y'all could listen to that. What's the difference? Because to me, it's the same type of psyche. It's you getting the same type of element, you getting the same type of rhythm, you getting the same type of mindset.
so first of all, the history of soca and like
Nah,
colloquialism.
easy from down south. Everybody else is from up north, though.
No, I'm from Florida.
Is that really the south?
Why is it
Cool.
not?
So, anyways, soca,
Florida, like,
soca.
Right?
So soca is like it's like Negro spiritual hymns, right? In a sense, right? It was we were enslaved. We were slave first. On the way here, they dropped a couple of us off and kept on moving, right? So it was like a lot of countries in the Caribbean weren't free till the early 1900s, if that. I mean, Haiti fought for their freedom. So soca was like, and that's what carnival is. Carnival's like, this is our freedom, this is our celebration. You know, we have Juve, we have, you know what I mean? We have so many different things. This is us celebrating our freedom from the colonizers and the oppressors to be. So soca is a little different. And soca, think
y'all
about it.
Juneteenth last a week.
Anytime music is around, music never stays to the pure core of where it began. So soca itself, like it used to be unheard of to hear people cussing in soca. Now you can hear it. You know, like
Okay.
the music itself has evolved to where it is now. I still love it. I don't love like depending on who I'm around. I'll play soca like because that's my like I'm when I'm about to leave tonight. I'm gonna play soca where I'm going. You see what I'm saying? To get me in that mood to you know what I mean. Go ahead and
Hey, hectic.
do my
Hectic.
thing. But
You be
to get
you
in the
be
mood
dancing.
to get in the mood to tell a
Hectic.
woman that you don't want to be
You
with
be
her.
dancing. You be dancing hectic to the
I
soca.
do something.
Something like
Okay,
what?
so
Motherfucking
so
what?
if you
The nigga said I do
if you
something.
really listen
Something.
if you really listen to soca, like it's hard for you to keep still. Like even people that don't
Yeah.
know soca, it's hard for them to keep still because the beat and the rhythm and you just like I catch people that's American, never heard soca a day in their life, and they up there bopping their head and they tapping their feet and they get into the vibe. Soca has that. You can't keep still with soca.
You gotta. You
So,
just
Is
I
it
mean,
is it is it heavy with drums?
it
Okay.
depends. Like I said, it's there's there's so many different derivatives of it now that yes, because it used to be all band. Now you hear more synthetics, hear more, digital. It used to be like you would go and play, you'd go play Mas, and people on these trucks, full fucking band, like full band.
hmm
Now
yeah, I
it's not
mean,
that way. You might have a DJ and something else
So
going on.
for
That's
me,
all.
while I was out there, it was like I could groove because it reminded me of being at the dollar parties back home.
I was gonna
You always
say
gonna
that.
have some Jamaican shit. You always gonna have some Jamaican music popping at some fucking point throughout the party. So me being out there, it was like usually it's a couple Jamaican songs, like 3-4 in a row, and then they get back to some hip hop shit. So it felt like that 3-4 just lasted the whole fucking
for
party.
hours. Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
when we were leaving, they played on some American stuff when we left.
Mm-hmm.
And like this party was from 11 to 6 a.m. And about 3, I'm like, you ready?
Bruh. 11 to 6?
Party
It was 11 to 6.
Here's what's crazy, cuz when we was leaving, the shit was just starting to get packed.
It was just popping.
Yeah.
And we were leaving at 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've
that
been
shit
to
was
some
definitely
bashments. I thought the
No.
bashments were long. They start at 10 and they end at like 2:33. And I'm like, man, it's a long ass party.
Yeah, I definitely would go to another one for sure.
Spinning off of your hip hop and everything in the soca, do you think that the music plays a major part of the men's mental health? You know what I mean? The words are lyrics, what you listening to all the time, right? What you're fostering. Like if you keep listening to the same stuff over and over.
So I feel like that's like the government saying that's why there was so much black on black crime because of the music.
Well, no, I'm asking. Do you think there's an influence?
Rock music because Columbine, because that's what happened when
I
Columbine
think
happened. It wasn't these white children went into a school and did this heinous crime. It was like, what music were they listening to? What games were they? They were playing Doom and they were listening to heavy metal and it's like, so we're not going to accept accountability.
I will say this,
no,
Freddie. For me myself, there are times where I have to listen to R&B. Like I can't listen to hip hop, especially if like depending on how my day was or how I want my day to go depends on what I listen to. So if I had like one of them crazy ass days, even if I'm at work and I'm listening to music, if the day getting crazy, I'm gonna throw R&B on so I could chill the fuck out before I snap on somebody or some shit. Because that one song may come on, I'm like, you know what? I'm in my DMX bag. Fuck y'all. Like,
and that's what I'm saying.
I think if you are in if you're in a mental space, like, so for example, because I think about all the time, like the trauma that these young kids have experienced that's not tapped into, and the music they listen to, this drill music, it's not the music itself, it's the traumatic mind states that they're in, but they're listening to this music that has so much influence on them. We can all listen to drill music and be like, okay,
separate,
talking about killing each other and shooting each other, but for us, when it goes off, we going in the house, chill out. For them,
and it's also their minds have different frequencies too that affect us differently.
But if you have
like the fork,
if you have an imbalance in your chemistry in your nervous system, it impacts everything you do. Impacts it. The video game, we talk kids shooting up schools. That kid was fucked up before he played that video game.
Oh, absolutely.
The video game just gave him an outlet to find a way to act out what he's feeling.
Absolutely.
But if
you always turn into broken men, and a lot of it is all foundational. Every video that I see where a dad is doing what dads do, I post it on my Facebook with the caption "Dads Matter." And a lot of these young men are suffering from lack of positive male influence, and it's not about why they're not there. That's just what it is. We can argue about why it's happening, but that's not going to solve what's going on. So the music plays a small part, but it always starts at home. Like parents are the foundation. You can't send your kid to school and expect your teacher to teach them how to say please and thank you, and also
not their job.
Learning ABCs.
Not their job.
You can't expect Lil Uzi Vert or Chief Keef or Lil Durk to raise your kid. I have an 8-year-old grandson who tried to listen to Lil Durk when he was living with me, and that shit wasn't gonna fly. Like, no, you can't listen to that chant. You can't even spell your goddamn name, but you can sing Lil Durk hooks. So it always has to start at the beginning, and at the beginning of it is always parents, and it has to be a positive male influence. The argument of raising boys versus girls is women are coddlers and men are hunters. I'm raising two sons to be men. I don't have time to hold their hand. I can't tell you, hey, it's going to be okay, baby. No, the world, you're going to go out there and the world going to step on your fucking neck and you're going to have to be able to get his foot off. So how I parented my sons was a lot more sterner, because in the early side of it, I got to lay the foundation. So as you get older and you start to experience things, it starts to make sense to you. So you need positive males. And the mental health starts with women allowing dads to be dads and minding their business when they are raising and parenting their
Charles's sons are also my sons. And it took me a while. It took me a while to get on board with, we are not raising them for us. We are raising them for the world. And once I got on board, I was like, okay, bet. Like, I had some slip back moments. I'm still a mom.
I want to ask.
Go.
Oh, so you mentioned, Chuck, your men are hunters. You don't have time to coddle as if women will. Well, so what's the difference between coddling and just, validating, I guess, the emotions or having the men feel it? You know what I mean? Like,
turn up, let's go.
So you know what I mean? So what is that difference? And I know it's men and women. We are different. I get that. So I'm just, so how do you give attention to their emotion while still being in that hunter mindset to prepare them for the world?
I guess the easiest way I can answer that for you is to use my own personal experience. I grew up in a 2-parent household. And what I explain and share with people is my mother taught me how to be a gentleman. My father showed me how to be a man.
Okay.
Him showing me how to be a man didn't come with a lot of hand-holding. I'm going to give you this instruction. You're going to follow this instruction. And if you don't follow this instruction, it's a consequence to not following this instruction.
Yeah.
So that is the duality of being a man. Now, my mother showed me that you pull chairs out, you put coats on, you open doors, you walk on the outside, you take the bullet, because that's your responsibility as a man. But to be a man, you got to get up. It's Groundhog Day. You get up, you go to work, you eat a bunch of shit for very little fanfare, you sacrifice for the greater good. And the greater good is to make sure your family is in a better place than where you started. So when I say men aren't nurturers, it's not that we don't care. We don't have the luxury to coddle every bad thing. And I had to learn myself. I was extremely hard on my youngest son because he played sports and I played sports. And I had to learn how he played sports is not the way I played sports. So we both ended up in the same place. So what do I know more than he do? His all and my all look different. And once I took a step back from that, our relationship changed. So you learn on the fly, but at the early stages, it's not a lot of room for error. So I'm not here to be your fucking friend. If you don't like me, that means I'm doing my job. If you like me, that means you're too loosey-goosey and you can do whatever you want. And you can't run the asylum.
Not be upset. You will not get off on me.
So, Chuck, you brought up women allowing men to be fathers and stuff like that. I don't know if you followed this situation, but what do you think about the DDG situation and him appearing to want to be a father, but she's rolling out all these lists of do's and don'ts in order for him to do it. Stipulations.
That shit is crazy.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I am unfamiliar with the situation because I don't follow any of these new artists. Like,
is this part of the news, Freddie?
Not at all. I don't know who the fuck you talking about either. I don't give a shit about celebrities.
I've seen it here and there, but I would say women believe that they own the child because they carry them. And what happens is they think that they know better because they form this emotional bond because they carry them. And we can't dismiss that. However, there wouldn't be no bond without the dad. So it all starts and ends with dad. And if you take dad out the equation, you have what you have running around today. Mm-hmm. So if all of those stipulations isn't because she want to stop him from being a dad. It's because she wants to make his life miserable.
Yeah.
And the only person who's going to suffer is their child.
Yeah.
Is their baby.
So when I was coming up, it was crazy, the dynamic between my parents, right? They couldn't get along. They fought all the time. So when they finally split up, it was the best thing for all of us. But the thing I noticed growing up is my mom always had something negative to say about my dad.
Ooh.
My dad never spoke one bad word about my mom. Even when I asked, like, why couldn't y'all get along? And my dad would just say, sometimes people just not meant to be together. My mom had everything in the world to say about how my dad wasn't shit, about how my dad was a liar, he was a cheater, he all this. And my dad never spoke one negative word about my mom. And I like thought about that of like, why was that? I still don't really know. I still can't wrap my mind around, because I hear a lot of dudes talk shit about their baby mama. But that taught me, like, there's part of it where he recognizes his own responsibility in whatever happened between them, but there's nothing he could say to change what happened. Nothing he could do to change what happened.
Me and my
Can I
ex-wife,
say something on that?
real quick. Let me say this real quick. Me and my ex-wife split up, right? And we had got to a point. I ain't gonna get all the way deep into it, but it had been, I would say, like 18 months that I ain't see my daughter, and I'm fighting. I'm going to court for custody. Y'all know black men don't go to court for custody. I'm going to court to try to make sure I could see my motherfucking daughter. They gave her an order that I was supposed to get her. She fucking broke the order, still wasn't seeing her, all that type shit. Months later, I finally get to see my daughter. Literally, I pick my daughter up. We driving home. My daughter says to me, "Dad, why you don't love me no more?" So I looked at her. I said, "What you mean by that?" I said, "When did I ever tell you that?" She said, "No, mommy said you stopped coming to see me because you ain't love me no more." Now, mind you, whole time you keeping me from seeing my daughter. It's not that I can't see her. I'm calling you. I'm popping up at your crib. You hiding my daughter from me. But a lot of times, I think people don't realize it's not always that the dad don't want to be there. It's a lot of times it's that mom that's doing foul flavored shit, keeping the kid from the dad, and then will tell the kid, "Oh, your dad don't fuck with you. Your dad don't love you. Your dad don't want to be around."
Master
And that's
manipulator.
what's going on with. I ain't gonna say that's what's going on with the boy, but I feel like that's what's happening. You painting this picture that he's a gruesome dude, but if he's trying to be around, it's like Chuck said, you trying to make my life bad, but you fucking over the kid. You're not fucking over me at the end of the day. You fucking that child that you say you love over by keeping them from the other parent who wants to show the same amount of love that you're saying that you're showing.
Yeah. Courtney, what was you about to say?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that a lot of women, or a lot of people, I can't say just women because it's men too. A lot of people use the fact that they don't get along to put that poison in their child. Because just because me and this person have a child together, and I don't like them, they don't like me, that has nothing to do with our child. Our child is the main focus, or should be the main focus. And I see a lot of people like, yeah, my dad said, or my mom said that my dad wasn't there for me, and the dad wasn't like that. So, like in your case, how you were mentioning how your dad didn't talk about your mom, but your mom talked about your dad.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that your dad was more mature, and your mom wasn't,
Yeah.
because she
My
was
daughter will
talking
be
bad about
21.
him to you, like he cheated. Why do you need to know that your dad cheated as a child?
Yeah.
My daughter will be 21 in
Why?
August. She's never heard me say one bad word about her mom ever. But she's heard plenty of bad words about me.
Well, a lot of that comes from anger, and
Yeah,
because
you
men
hurt.
are so emotionally devoid, and it's not a lot of ways to hurt us. The only way you can hurt a man is to remove the one thing that he cares the most about, because every man worth his salt and soul wants to be there for his child.
Yeah.
So the only way I can hurt you is to remove the one thing that you care about, and that's punitive actions at its finest. So
what I say is, I commend you, Raw, for going to them courts. Like, courts work two ways. They not just for women.
Recently,
that's true. But it's not. I've seen too many.
It's a battle. It's a battle.
Like you gotta be war ready.
Yeah, I seen a dude at child support court, and this dude was like, "I got my kid every day. The mom don't have it." And the judge looked at him and was like, "Yeah, you still got to pay child support." He's like, "I have the child. The courts don't give a fuck for real. They are changing their ways, but and I'm not saying this out of anger or anything towards the women. A lot of women be like, yeah, it's easy. You just go to the courthouse and boom, 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 and this is what happens. No, that shit, family court is not for men whatsoever.
What the craziest shit I seen was the lady had a kid. She didn't know who the daddy was, so she just put a random dude that she knew on the birth certificate. That man has proven through DNA tests. She has told the courts that that's what she did, and he is still on the hook for child support.
That's crazy. You want to know what's the craziest part? Like, so women get offended when men ask for a paternity test, and I'm never going to fucking understand that. Because we all was there, but I don't know where you've been and you don't know where I've been. So if you come up pregnant and I ask you for a paternity test, that's not a cuss word. That's not a bad thing. I want to be sure before I invest my money, that time currency that you don't get nothing in exchange for. It's just burnt time. I need to know. So why is paternity such a dirty word? Like, why is that a dirty word?
I feel like,
listen, I had a woman come up to me and she's like, what if I told you I was pregnant? I'd be like, congratulations.
So I feel like it's for me. For me,
scumbag shit every week.
I would be offended if it was.
My bad, Freddie. Go ahead.
Nah, if it was for me, I would get offended if we was in a whole standing relationship. We lived together and everything. I would still be offended. No, I'm saying I would be offended, but I'd still go get it because you feel like this is what you need, but I'd still be mad. Like, but we live together because I know what I know what I am.
You know how many bitches live with a nigga that's sucking a lot of dicks?
Hey, Maury has a whole dedicated show about it.
So that's what I'm saying.
Maury's proven.
But if it was casual, I'd be like, yeah, nigga, let's go ahead and test everybody.
I'd be salty.
But that's where that trust.
I would be like,
Maury is as big as legend as Jerry Springer and has shown us that bitches are not as loyal as they claim to be. It is what the fuck it is. But
saying outlandish things like I'm 1,000,000%. Million.
Now see, that's the bullshit I like. Don't say 1,001%, knowing good and goddamn well you had your cooter and pussy all up and down the ass.
But they can't say that, Freddie. They gotta be the wholesome ones. They gotta be the wholesome ones. It is what it is.
But see, that's
let's take a hold on. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, let's talk about the mental aspect of our finances when it comes to this shit. We already know you out here hectic.
Yeah, y'all have a great night. I'm about to go wind up on somebody. Yay!
All right, Mr. Soko. Don't put your stuff on nobody's leg tonight.
You already know he is. Perv ass nigga. So Stacey, you know that men go through a whole lot when it comes to finances. So when it comes to money in general, how much would you say, or what would you say is the biggest thing that destroys people's mental health when it comes to money? Well, men's mental health when it comes to money.
I would say it's sometimes if you have too little money, or sometimes when you have too much money. That also can affect people's mental health, because sometimes when you come into a lot of wealth really quickly, it messes with your head.
What do you mean by that?
Let's say you're used to making $500 a week, and all of a sudden you're making, let's just say 50,000. That's a big jump. You can't
No, that's
handle it.
true.
It's too much at one time, and
So
it
how
messes.
would you say making that much money affects your mental health though?
Sometimes you make bad decisions. A lot of times people with money, or they have businesses that they're getting all this money, is rolling in, and one bad decision, they lose everything.
Look, I can't say that.
Fucking with these hoes.
It happens. Yeah, your mental affects your money in a big way. When people are happy, they spend money. When they're sad, they
Mm.
spend money.
No, I can
Anxious, depressed, they spend money.
I could
Mm-hmm.
definitely
Mm-hmm.
agree.
What they call it?
Retail
Damn,
therapy is a
retail
real
therapy.
thing.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
a real thing. It's a
So I'm gonna
very real thing.
I'm gonna be vulnerable for a hot second. So I, for whatever reason, shopping is therapeutic to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there was a point like when I was making a lot more money at that time than I ever made in my life. Like
Mm-hmm.
all the trauma that I had, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go to the mall, and I was buying the shit out of shoes. And then what ended up happening? I accumulate debt,
Yep.
and then I'm more upset or more depressed now because I'm like, fuck, my finances are out of whack. I'm
Mm-hmm.
broke,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's crazy how something that makes you feel good in the
Mm-hmm.
moment
Mm-hmm.
can put you
Mm-hmm.
deeper into that hole. And like I had to
Indeed.
Kids.
learn real fast how to.
Pause.
You know how many
Oh,
millionaires commit suicide
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
when their
Absolutely.
Facts.
money starts to go low, or
yeah,
they lose money? Rich people, they commit suicide because they
yeah.
can't handle it mentally. They can't handle not having money.
Hmm. I knew a guy. They had a kid. He got a new car. I'll forget what kind of car it was. He got a new car for his birthday, and then
Mm-hmm.
his grades weren't doing well in school. Like kid was
Mm-hmm.
he like a 3.8 GPA, so it wasn't like he was doing bad. But family of they're wealthy. Mom
Mm-hmm.
is a doctor. Dad works in finance.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters in college to be whatever at an
Mm-hmm.
Ivy League school, and his kids' grades were not doing well, and they
Mm-hmm.
took his car. And then they come home the day they took his car and they found him hanging from the stairwell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, man, he ain't got no problems like over a car. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, as poor people, the things that we go through that we survive, it's like we're in
Yeah.
survivor mode so much we don't
Mm-hmm.
think about, like, we don't have anything to lose. So we're never at a point
Mm-hmm.
where just like, I'm gonna end it all today because I
I
got
got
nothing left.
fuck it, it's
But
over.
for rich people,
Mm-hmm.
that's like losing what they have. Life is over for them because, like, you think about a 17-year-old kid who's never had to work for anything in their life,
Right.
and they lose something that's important to them, and they lose that
Mm-hmm.
They
status.
don't want to
Now their
live. They
friends,
don't want to live
yeah, they're
Mm-hmm.
like,
poor.
"Oh,
They
dude,
don't.
you
They
got
can't
you got your
fathom it.
Mercedes taken away," and it's like, I don't have any reason to live now. All my friends are
Yeah.
gonna hate me. My parents hate
Mm-hmm.
me because they took my car. Like, I see that all the time with kids just talking, I'm gonna kill myself. It's like, bro, chill out. They took your phone.
Like the fact
But
Facts. Court. I mean,
I'm sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I had never been like radical, like ADHD, things like ADD, ADHD. What's the other one that they say the kids had? Like none of that shit existed to me because in my head there was nothing that a good old fashioned passionate ass whooping couldn't cure. And I hated the way, like, when these diagnoses first came out, they were just labeling our black boys left and right and left and right. So I vowed in my household it wasn't gonna be no ADD that Latasha Nicole could not alleviate. So this one day, my youngest son come home, his teacher, she called me about something. I'm like, oh my God, Chuck, he can't learn. I think we should go take him to see someone because I don't think he's learning correctly. Chuck say that boy lazy, Tasha. Ain't nothing wrong with him. No, Chuck, no. I think it may be something going on in his head. We've got to go get him checked out. And so at the time, I didn't want them to do it through the school because, once you get a school diagnosis, that should follow you. So found a place. They wanted $250. Chuck was mad, but something's wrong with my baby, and we're gonna figure out what's going on with this kid. Spent that $250 to find out that kid was lazy as fuck.
When all you had to do was listen to the nigga in the first place, but keep going.
Yeah. But see, that's one
You
of the
on
things.
mute.
I think you're on mute, Chuck. You probably said some fly ass shit.
No, I didn't. I said that speaks to the dynamic because we know what we know, and I was a Charles. Our youngest son is the third. I'm the second, so I know what a Charles is, and I was lazy. But if you could sit up all night and learn how to play Madden, you damn sure could learn four times 5. So if you not learning 4 times 5, it's because you don't find it interesting and you don't see how it serves you. I didn't have to drive 4 hours to figure out what shit wrong with them.
Oh, and there was a drive. There was a drive.
Yeah, it was 2.5 hours up and 2.5 hours back on top of the 250. So it's like I'm just getting fucked all across the board. But hey, let's make sure the boy ain't shit wrong with him.
Just to find out the same shit you already knew. Speaking of
guidance
money,
and structure.
Stacey, what would you say is the one thing that men can do financially to help their mental health?
A lot of times I think men probably need to make more money because nowadays women are breadwinners. Women are making more money than their husbands or their boyfriends or most male friends that they have. And sometimes men feel very intimidated by that.
I was going to get to that. Keep going. No.
They feel very, very intimidated by it. Very, very intimidated.
So here's what I want to know. Why the fuck do y'all feel so strongly that a man is so intimidated because a woman makes a lot of money? Now, hold on. I'm going to speak for myself. Me personally, I'm going to be very candid. Since I met my wife, she has always made more money than me. Not once in my motherfucking time of knowing her did I say, oh, this fucking bitch, how dare she make more money than me? She thinks she's better than me. I've never thought this one time in my life. Now, here's what's crazy. My wife has always made more money, but I've always been better with money. So even though she makes more, I actually have more because I know how to deal with my money. So why do so many women have this mindset that, oh, I make so much money that you're intimidated by me. I scare you because I make this money versus, damn, we could be a team, or damn, maybe I can still learn from you. Why is this a thing?
My personal view on it is even if a woman is making more money than her spouse, she still has to let a man be a man. If you're making 100,000 and your spouse is making 50, maybe you're paying the mortgage, let him pay the other bills. But let him do something. Let him still feel like a man. But a lot of women feel like I'm making the most money. I'm going to take care of everything. No. What is his role?
Some stuff, like, as a man, like, I don't care if you made $200,000.
Right. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter who makes more.
Tower, and if I'm the tower, I'm the tower. And I'm going to share, again, a personal experience. My parents bought their home in 1979 for $12,500, and collectively they made $5 an hour. And my mom made more than my dad, but my mom never paid a mortgage because my dad said, "You'll never put me out." And not that he was planning on that, but that was his mindset. So as a man, the money doesn't change the responsibility.
Right.
And women, some women, not all women, but some women believe that the money makes you equal. And equality isn't based on finances for men, because Stedman has been dealing with Oprah for as long as Oprah been Oprah, and Stedman do what the fuck he want to do.
Chuck, I shared with them that Oprah was your crush. That we was doing.
I'd have bust Oprah ass for a piece of that check.
Wait, Chuck, and we also let her know that 98% of the people, men and women, would fuck Oprah So it is what it is. Men and women. Yeah. You ain't gotta be gay to eat Oprah pussy. I'm just saying.
But when you see Oprah and Stedman, and Oprah is Oprah, you see she still defers to him because she respects him as a man, and it all starts with respect. And as men, we have to start commanding respect. And it's a difference between demand and command.
Yeah. It's a difference between demand and command. Commanding is you walk in the room.
Yes.
And I mean, what's going on in that room? You ain't got to say a word. But demanding is something different. Demanding is something very little boyish.
One of the things I've noticed in situations where like I have friends or family members where the woman is the breadwinner in the household, they use that as a power dynamic. It's like I make more money than you, so I make the rules. It's kind of like the I got the pussy, I make the rules thing with it. I got the check, I make the rules. And I've seen
I got the pussy and the check.
That has broken men down because that's where that insecurity comes from. Is if a woman is throwing that in your face all the time to try to make you feel inferior, then you're going to feel that way, or you're going to leave that woman and go find somebody. And a lot of men unconsciously, that's a security blanket for them, right? It's like, yes, she does make enough money for us to survive. So if I leave her with what I make, I can't make it on my own. So I can't leave her. But you stay there and subject to that bullshit rather than get up and get out and get on your own. Because I'm like this. If I was in that situation, I might not be able to afford his mortgage by myself, but that 1-bedroom apartment ain't that expensive.
You just keep asking her for $40. Hey, babe, can I have $40? And you keep saving it until you get enough to move out.
Freddie, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you, right? I understand the dynamic of the $40. Like real shit. A lot of people be like, "Oh, you paying for pussy?" No, you paying for peace. I'm giving you $40 to shut the fuck up and leave me the fuck alone.
My God.
Point blank. Listen, I'm keeping it a bean. That $40 is precious. That means I don't have to deal with you. I'm gonna knock your head off, and then you gonna put your clothes on and get the fuck out. I ain't got to worry about you sitting here like, oh, yap, bitch, I'm watching TV. Can I watch the movie? I don't care about your questions right now. That $40 is powerful.
Yeah. I heard my uncle say he's never paid a woman for sex. He paid him to leave.
I'm telling you. Y'all don't see it that way, but it's the fucking truth.
Your uncle didn't say that. Another comedian said that shit on stage too somewhere.
He might have got it from a comedian, but he told it to me.
Tasha, real quick, right? What is something that men can do to help themselves get to that next level when it comes to finances? Because you said one thing that a man could do to help himself mentally is to make more money. How can a man get there to make that extra couple shillings to keep themselves good?
Do like what women do, educate yourself, level up. There's even some men they're not.
But why you do that, Raw? Why you do that,
their
Raw?
woman?
Why did you do that? Why'd you do that, Raw?
Oh, where she go now? Why'd you do that? I'm just curious because I was gonna ask that same question, Raw. Like we just say, hey, nigga, make more money. Well, how? You know what I mean? Well, how does you do that?
The reason I did that is because when you say do like women do and educate yourself, there's a lot of men out here that educate themselves all the time. But the crazy part is a lot of times the most educated dudes is the dudes that's looked at as the sucker, as the fucking simp. And, oh, you out here educating yourself so you can work a better 9 to 5. You ain't no hustler. You ain't really getting no money. And again, I know, Freddie, Tasha, y'all looking at me right now because y'all
like, where's these bitches at, and why y'all keep entertaining these motherfuckers?
Here's what y'all two have to understand, right? Yeah. Here's what y'all two have to understand. As women, y'all think how y'all think. Y'all don't think. No. Y'all don't think about how all the other women that dudes encounter think. Y'all think how you. No. Fuck out of here. You put your goddamn hands down. Y'all think how you think. Y'all got to understand that we as men, we encounter a lot of different types of women over our years over our places, over our everything, right? So yes, every now and then we meet that one that makes sense, that's on the same vibe, on the same wavelength, that can understand. But for the most part, as men, you don't run into a lot of those. You run into hold on, Chuck. What you say earlier? Listen and not to respond.
Respond.
And it seems
React,
like y'all trying to
respond.
listen to respond, especially Tasha.
Y'all, I'm listening.
Hands down.
I'm gonna leave my hands down. I'm gonna keep my hands
Okay.
down.
So again, as men, when we explain to y'all what we see, what we have seen, y'all got to stop saying to yourselves, "Well, I'm not that type of person."
Okay.
No,
Because
I
just
got
because
you.
you're not that type, don't mean we ain't meet 65 others before you. That's the same exact thing.
So I
How
don't think
many?
that's my problem. I think my problem is with you calling those females women, because women carry themselves in a certain
So
way.
if I'd have said bitches, then y'all would have been like, "Why you
No,
calling them
well,
bitches?"
you just call them girls. You just call them
Okay.
Nah.
girls.
Whoa. No, that don't sound right. We too old to be saying girls.
They
We
too
Young
old.
way too
women.
They
we
too old.
way past the
That's too
saying girls
confusing
stage.
now.
They too old not to be women.
So let me ask y'all
Heifers.
this.
Call them heifers. Them
All right,
So
heifers.
Hafiz, we
so
can agree
to
on.
the women here on the panel today, how
Why,
often have
yes, easy.
y'all made a general statement to a man about, like, okay, let's just say men just want sex, and the dude's response is, "I'm not like that. That's not that. All these other niggas is like that. I'm not like that." But
That's a
turns out
lie.
that's
That's
really
a
is what he wanted, right?
That's so.
That's so, like, turning that around, we encounter a lot of females that will say, "I'm not a gold digger," but they want you to have a certain financial status to be with them. They'll say,
I get you.
I'm cool with you not making more money than me, but they throw it up in your face anytime there's an argument, anytime there's a bill
That's not a
due.
woman.
That
Well,
That's
them
not.
heifers ain't mature.
right.
Yeah, they not.
Mm.
That's
But
not.
that's what I'm saying is, like, when y'all are saying that, like, you got to go on the other side of that and hear, like, when
Nah.
dudes say, "I'm not like that," what are you thinking in your mind? Yes, you are. You just like all the rest of
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cause for me, when a dude say like, "Hey, I ain't all about sex like that," but like, you still would clap these cheeks if I said go
Listen,
ahead. So
Freddie,
what
at
you
the end of
mean?
the
Yeah,
Like,
day, no nigga has ever hollered at you and didn't want to fuck. Let's get
right.
that
that's
out
what
there.
I'm saying. So like,
But at
But
the same
on the
time,
same time,
just because
there's
a nigga
no,
want to fuck don't mean that's his only
no, that's
motive
not. No, I
once he
got.
gets to
But
know
I
you.
do understand that though.
but it
Yeah,
also
ain't
is
no
like,
Once he
nigga
gets to
as a
know
no
you.
nigga
woman,
in life has ever looked at a chick who was like, I want to get to know her brain. Fuck no. The
yeah,
nigga wanted to fuck. It is he saw ass, he saw titties,
yeah.
he wanted to fuck. Y'all
Oh,
know this, we know this. Now let's get past that shit.
okay.
And as a woman, when you see a dude that, like, he dressed nice, he drive a decent vehicle, he asks you out, y'all go on a date, he pay for everything, take you to a nice expensive restaurant, maybe you
Dripping now, he
go
done
to
paid for
you
everything.
go to his house, he live in a nice neighborhood, he got a nice house, right? You
Oh
find out
shoot,
that, like, dude, in your mind, you were like, shit, I found me a man with
pussy don't
security.
fail me now.
So
I got
so
to the
you
jig. Yeah.
you giving up the yams, because you like, this brother got his shit together. I don't have to, like, work. Like, if I get with this brother, I don't have to worry about me
So
financially.
I
I'm gonna
think
be
that's
good.
so interesting. Women, and I'm just gonna say in general, we all have this whole site. This we do. I don't give a
This
fuck
what we
what
do,
woman
baby,
you
each
are.
and every Saturday night, right here, doing what
I
the
don't.
fuck we do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
tell a
don't
friend to
care
tell a
what
friend.
woman you
Tell
are,
a friend to
but
tell a
we
friend.
all have this fantasy of being the Cinderella woman. Like, oh,
Yeah,
he propped me off my feet. He
yeah.
loved my pussy. He gonna pay for everything. We have that
Cinderella
fantasy.
was
I
not
don't give
worrying
a
about
fuck
love
what.
and getting her pussy loved, but don't keep going.
What'd you say? What?
She's trying to keep her
Cinderella
shoes
wasn't
on.
worrying about how much she loved that pussy, but keep going.
I read a
You
story
get what
once.
I'm. You
Go ahead.
understand what I'm saying, though? Like that whole savior thing. Every
Yeah,
woman wants
And
that.
that's why so many
So
relationships struggle, because women operate in the
exactly.
fairy tale and men operate in reality. And to
yes,
the education aspect of it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the age demographic is over 45.
Bro,
Is
shut
it
the
fair to
fuck
say
up with your arms and shit.
everyone on this
Yeah, I couldn't wave my hand, but he get to do his arms.
because
Snoop.
there's men shit. But what I'm saying is, I'm 50, so the guys that are 50 can't go get an education because all the guys that's 50 and older grew up in the crack era, and they came from broken homes, and they had to sell coke to get it, and they got 15 to 20 year stretches, and while they were out here getting it, they were paying for their lady to get her education, and she progressed, so she was able to get educated. But it's not easy for black men growing up in the inner city in the 80s and 90s to come home and get a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that you can't get a federal student loan for is a drug offense. And what are 98% of black men in America arrested for? Drug offenses. And 98% is a huge number. But you understand what I'm saying. So the education component
it's
of it
difficult.
is extremely difficult.
My grandmother.
I was just going to say, so what about entrepreneurial, right? So instead of education, what about entrepreneurial? And I'm just asking from a man standpoint, because I don't want to, what I want to hear is what I'm hearing, and I don't want to say I don't like, but there's so many obstacles. Do this. Well, we can't do that because we this. You know what I mean? So what can we do? You know what I mean?
What we can do is let Stacy tell us what the fuck we could do as men, since I asked her and y'all ain't want to let her tell us as men, what can we do to get this motherfucker?
You said get education, and y'all said we can't.
But here go the thing, and I don't mean to cut you off, Tasha. But
I don't either. I'm gonna
to
put my shit
the
on mute.
point that Chuck was just making, though, is like we come up with all these what ifs, right? The facts are that growing up in the 80s and 90s, black men were incarcerated for the dumbest shit, and sometimes shit that they deserve to be incarcerated for. Once you go into that system, it is difficult to get a job. It is difficult to get a loan. You can't get a student loan. A lot of colleges are going to see, oh, you were arrested for stealing a pencil from Family Dollar. Sorry, we can't let you in. You got a criminal record. So all these things stacked against black men our age, the ones of us that luckily were able to avoid the criminal justice system to be able to go. Like all of my grandmother's sons, nephews, and grandsons, except me, have sold drugs and been to prison.
I sold drugs. I just never went to prison. But I'm the only one that never went to prison.
Well, I sold weed for like 2 hours, but that's beside the point.
Hold on. But I'm the
Stacey,
help us out. What can we do as black men?
Number one, stay out of the prison.
Stay
out of the prison system, because that's the number one reason why a lot of men can't progress, because they have the criminal, record, and they can't get a good job. Once you do that, I mean, it's possible. If it means getting 3-4 jobs, you just got to do what you got to do.
Can I ask also too, is it sometimes the poor man's mentality that keep people in their circumstances? And if anybody, you don't know what a poor man's mentality is, you know what I mean? You don't know what's that?
The white man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily the white man, but it's just like, you don't want to strive for any.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I grew up in the hood.
I grew up like this, so maybe I don't deserve something more, or this is how it's always been done. So we don't need to do these things because I don't need to buy a new car because I don't want to participate in that stuff, or stuff like that. And it's like, no, you need a viable vehicle. So stop playing that game, and it's so. I'd rather get 2 part-time jobs,
right?
You're not gonna like this answer, but I got an answer for you. You're not gonna like it.
I say
go ahead, Chuck. I don't care. It's not about what I like. I love hearing.
It's the reality of it. It all comes back to the same thing. It is a video circulating in social media right now where it is a young mother telling her son he can't get a job because he's gonna fuck up her Section 8. She told him you can't get a job, you can't go to school, you gonna fuck up my Section 8. You just struggle and you get on the list and you just wait and let the government take care of you. So the very men that y'all speak of, women are raising these men.
I definitely seen that shit early and they fucked me up when I seen that shit.
Not every instance, and it's not a poor man's mentality.
No.
I grew up in the Philly 80s and 90s. I ain't a street nigga, but I played in the streets. I was fortunate. My parents didn't go for a lot of shit, so I didn't get into a lot of shit. I went into the Army at 26. I knew I was different, and I ran from it for a long time because it wasn't cool to be different. And that's societal environmental trauma. We grow up in the worst of the worst, and women don't understand that it is a task making it from day to day as a black man in America. And it don't matter what part of America you in, the South, the East, the West, the North. It's fucked up for everybody. It's very few of us that make it. And those who make it, it's not easy making it because you are fighting. I made it, so now I got to put everybody else on.
Yeah.
Now that I'm up, everybody think I am the person that you call when you got this harebrained scheme to start being an entrepreneur, and that shit don't work.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Chuck. Can I ask you this? I think it has been said before that the trauma that we experienced in childhood was not our responsibility.
Yeah.
But once you become an adult, like it is absolutely unacceptable for you to stay in the condition that you're in. Like if you do something different, you got to do something different.
Yeah.
You know, I have an adage. My adage is okay not to know. It's not okay to not want to know.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And where we are today, a lot of us don't want to know. And it'll go back to what I said earlier. We have to be willing to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
So the mental health aspect of it, we broken before we start because we've been broken since we were kids.
Yeah.
We had these broken boys growing up to broken men, piecemealing it, doing the very minimal, but it's the best that they could do because maybe my dad didn't have much and he didn't show me much. And maybe my mom and dad, whatever, they was on drugs. We all know that story.
Yep.
There's very few of us that get out of it. You just have to understand, okay, I got out of it. And I had to learn it myself. The things that helped me survive Iraq twice wasn't going to serve me being outside of the Army because it was interfering with my professional life because I was confrontational. I would cuss a motherfucker out and it didn't matter what your position.
People don't understand how hard it was that first year as a young black man in the military. Motherfuckers don't understand that first year is rough.
They break you.
I'm talking about post-military. Like, I ain't had no picks. It didn't matter. CEO.
That's what I'm saying. And then you take that into the military that first year. So it's like, who the fuck is you to be telling me anything right now? Fuck y'all. Until you start to learn, oh shit, maybe I can learn from people. Maybe I can understand motherfuckers. Like, that shit is rough. That first year is rough.
You can't learn until you're stable, though.
Yeah.
Right. So many of us are living in a scramble. That stability is the only thing that affords you the ability to know. Because every day is survival. How do I put food on the table?
Yep.
And many of us, the only way we know how to put food on the table is to go to the streets. And the streets ain't the streets no more. So I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Them niggas, you better be getting on TikTok and dance your ass around right now. That's what you do.
Get you a own.
And this is the thing too with us, and this for black women too that grew up in the inner city, that grew up in poverty. We have been in survival mode our whole lives, and until we start to unpack the reasons that we've been in survival mode, we can't get out of it.
Absolutely.
And for me, my turning point in life was probably the moment that I almost lost it. When I got shot, I went to a therapist for PTSD from getting shot. And I realized I've had PTSD
all
my
your
whole
life.
damn life.
All your life.
All your life.
We talk
All
more
your
about the shit that happened that I experienced growing up than the actual shooting. And I had to heal from that stuff to even get past being shot.
Right.
And like, we all carry a lot of shit that's not ours. We carry our parents' shit. We carry our friends' shit. We carry shit that we see And
You
until
see all
we
this
can let that
cortisol
go,
on me?
Yeah.
Was
All right, hold up, y'all.
Was your therapist white or black?
I had a black woman as a therapist, and
Cultural competence is
it was
necessary.
And here's what was crazy: two different sides of the tracks, right? She grew up in the suburbs, never experienced any of the things that I experienced, but she had her own trauma. And she's the one that helped me realize that I was carrying all that.
Yeah, at times it's hard. It's hard for people to understand you when they've never been through nothing.
Yeah,
right.
White people,
but she's got parents that came from somewhere to help her get to where she was, right? So like she was able to help me unpack shit because she understood what her father and her uncles went through growing up. So that was the difference, I think, with seeing her. And I didn't request it; just happened that I got a black woman.
Wow.
Like, it was
always request because cultural competence is important. And that's why our community shies away from therapy, because there's not a lot of representation. And I've been on both sides of the couch. I've provided therapy and I've received therapy, and it makes a difference. I've had white therapists through the VA, and I cussed them out because, like, I ain't here for this shit. Y'all playing games. Y'all trying to fuck with my money, so I gotta leave y'all alone because you're not trying to help me.
Yeah.
And I've had black therapists who, you know, they was okay, but it's finding the right therapist. And therapy only
That's
works
really what it is.
Yeah.
when you're willing to be honest, and you have to be honest before you go to therapy.
Yeah, don't go in there. Don't go in there thinking y'all going to tell a fable.
Yeah. You gotta be ready to be very vulnerable. You can't go in there lying to yourself. And that was the thing for me. Like I wanted to be the tough guy and go in there and like, I survived this, and you know, I don't want revenge, but I really do. Like I keep telling myself, like, I forgive this dude, but I'm plotting how to figure out where he at when he getting out, so I can get my people to show up and go handle business.
Crazy. So speaking of figuring shit out, we got a new segment that we rolling out tonight.
All right.
You all, I am not Miss Cleo, but I am the goddess to the enlightened idiots stars. So we're going to start this off with Capricorn. You finally looked into your bank statements and had the nerve to be shocked. Baby, that buying self-care candles like your bills pay themselves. Retrospect is cute, but interest is real. Set up a savings plan before your next crisis tells you to. Aquarius, you've been given, I'm emotionally available in theory. The men around you aren't okay, but nobody's saying anything because y'all trauma bond over sports, highlights, and silence. Be the one to check in, not just to check out. Pisces, your emotional depth has a price tag, literally. Stop retail therapizing your way through every spiral. You're not broke because of inflation. You're broke because your cart is where your feelings go to cry. Aries, you don't need another hustle. You need a hug. That armor you wear for the world is suffocating you. And your wallet, let someone know the real you is tired. That strength too, excuse me. Taurus, that's me, guys. You budgeted once in March and you've been winging it ever since. That Excel sheet didn't disappear. You did. Time to check in with your future self. How much mess do you want them to have to clean up? Gemini the twins. Right? Gemini the twins, you give great advice. Now take some, especially about your stacking for slow seasons and calling your homeboy before his silence becomes permanent. Mental health matters, so do you. Cancer, money ain't your love language, but it's screaming at you from the overdraft alerts. Heal that relationship with your finances before they ghost you like that man did. Or was it you ghosting him this time? Whatever. Leo the Lion, your receipts don't match your reality. It's okay to admit that you're carrying too much for too many and calling it leadership. Let a therapist help unpack what you keep flexing over. Virgo, you've planned for everything except the breakdown or a breakthrough. Talk to your homeboys like y'all talk about crypto. Emotional investments matter more. Libra the scales. Your aesthetic is soft life, but your cash flow is chaos. Pretty won't protect you from debt. Neither will pretending your friend is just quiet when he's clearly in distress. Call him. Scorpio, you're emotionally literate, but stingy with it, especially with other men. It's time to show up for your brothers like you want them to show up for you. And no, healing ain't weak, it's overdue. Sagittarius, you can joke your way through anything else except your account balance and your boy's breakdown. Humor hides pain, but it doesn't heal it. Start being real with yourself and your crew. Until next time, guys, keep your vibe protected, your edges laid, and your screenshots organized. Check on your strong friends and check on their bank account too. See y'all next Saturday.
Hey.
Yeah. I feel attacked, Miss Tasha.
Listen, I'm trying to feel attacked. See?
I missed the Pisces one, so I don't feel attacked.
Yeah,
you missed it?
Yeah, I went to the restroom. My bad.
I'll send it to you. No worries.
I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio, and I'm out here being vulnerable as hell right now.
Check on your boys. Check on your boys. That is so funny.
Raw, you good?
I'm chilling. I mean, the thing with me is I know who I am and how I am.
Yeah,
and I could be focused for like a week and then I'll fall the fuck off for like a month. And then I come back to it. It is what it is.
That's me. I won't spend no money for like a month and then $400 in a day.
Girl.
That's who I am. I mean, we were talking about retail therapy earlier, and I remember like I'm a faithful therapy goer. And I walked in therapy one time and I had been seeing him for some time. And he was like, I have never seen you with the same pair of shoes on. And I felt targeted and attacked in that moment. But he was right. Like that was my shit. Like if I couldn't figure out my feelings, I'd shop them.
Yeah.
I do experiences more. Like I'll buy me a ticket to do something. And a lot of times I do it by my damn self because either people either don't have the money when it's time to do, and I ain't covering nobody no more. I'm too grown for that. Or I just rather experience it by myself because I don't want to pick nobody up or meet nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all the things. Don't want to do it.
Yeah. So Stacey, let's talk some money. Let's talk some money. Let's tell us some things, some tips and tricks we could be doing to get our money right. Because as we just heard, everybody fucked up at this point. Everybody fucking up that bag at this point.
Except the Scorpios. We not fucked up financially. We fucked up emotionally.
So what are a few things that we could do to secure that bag and keep that bag, if you will?
Definitely everyone should have a budget. From me doing taxes, I realized that a lot of times people have no idea how much they make, where their money is going. They just know the direct deposit hits, they spend, and then the next week their account is overdraft. So you have to have a budget for everything you do. Also, I think cash stuffing, people should go back into cash stuffing and stop using your debit card because that's a better controlled way of seeing where your money goes. Like if you put $100 in an envelope and say, okay, for this week, I can only spend this $100. So if you spend it by Tuesday, you just know you have to reset on Sunday. So that's also another tip for you to be able to spend and know how your money is going. And also people should do what's called a no spend day. Do it once a week. Do it once every 2 weeks. I've done a no spend month. For a whole month, I did not spend any money. That helps also to kind of control your spending, and it can be done. If you just, put your mind to it, it can be done. A no spend day. Once a week, everyone should do it.
I was gonna say, like, if you track your money, like, okay, you get a coffee today, You get a coffee Tuesday. You go out to lunch. You look up. You done spent $35 just frivolously eating out. And if you meal prep, you got a budget. Then you already know what you eating. You know what I mean?
That's
People,
another thing too. People spend too much money, especially
mindlessness.
when you're working. You spend too much money on food. Food is the number one reason why a lot of people are in debt.
Yep.
Amen to
Food
that.
DoorDash. If you
And
can
Uber.
put DoorDash on Klarna, your motherfucker shouldn't be eating. That's what I'm gonna say.
Not if you got to put your meals on layaway. Not if
You
got
can
to
put your meals on layaway.
Wait. You can
That's how
put
they
your
get
meals on layaway now?
Hey, they listen.
DoorDash. Yeah.
Wow.
They got layaway McDonald's, a Big Mac.
I did
That's
not know
Layaway.
that.
bad. That's
That's
terrible. You shouldn't have to lay
horrible.
away a meal.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just
different.
terrible.
Yeah. And here's what's fucked up is it's not the fact that the person doing it is like it's the fact that it's offered. Like
Right. It shouldn't be
when
offered.
when you
Well,
see Klarna pop up with you on the McDonald's app and it's like pay with Klarna, pay over 6 months.
it's
And I'm
free
like,
will. We're a capitalistic America. You got it. Your opportunity is there. It's
right.
their fault that they're not educated enough to not hit that Klarna. That's their fault. Unfortunately, that's how it's
yes,
seen.
it is their
Horrible.
financial illiteracy, but I think
Yes.
also the company
You're
is taking
victimizing them.
advantage of the fact that there's so many people that are financially illiterate enough to be like, oh yeah, there's $6 burger. I can pay $1 a month for 6 months, but in the interest, you're gonna end up paying $9 for the burger.
Well,
But
It's the same
I
thing
say,
with credit
that
cards. It's the same thing with credit cards. People don't realize that interest that you're paying on credit cards, if by you just paying the minimum, you'll never pay that card off.
never.
That's a fact.
I think
That's
it's
why you should make at
interesting.
least 2 to 3 payments per month on your credit card. That's the only way you'll really bring it down.
Stacey, how can you
Yes.
create a realistic budget that reduces your financial stress?
You just basically have to know how much you're bringing in. You have to know how much you're bringing in down to the penny every week, or every 2 weeks, or if it's once a month. You have to know where your money is going and how much money you're getting. Most times when I talk to people and I say, okay, what's your income? They say, I have no idea. You have to know every penny, especially if you have a business. If you're working, you have a business, you have to know where every penny goes, because a penny can go a long way. I
So
know it
should
might.
you be looking at should you be looking at like a percentage? Should you be looking at like a dollar amount? Like what should you be looking at? Like if you realistically wanted to create a budget, should you look at like, all right, maybe 10% of my money can go to eating out, or if I make $1,000, I only got $100 a month to spend on food. Like how would you look at it to make it make sense?
You should I like the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for your needs, 30%, other things, and 20% for savings. You should save out of every paycheck.
Do you agree
Every
about
paycheck
those
you should save.
every paycheck you pay yourself to every paycheck? Do you agree with that one? That rule?
Yes. And also, if you have a business, which I encourage people, even if you have a 9 to 5, you should still have a business because it helps you lower your tax liability.
Yes, it
You can
does.
pay, you can send your direct deposit to your business account, so it would look like your business is making money, even if it's every week, every 2 weeks. And that's how a lot of businesses can get funding. Even if you have $50 coming into the business every 2 weeks,
Didn't think
a
about
bank or a
that.
lender will say, okay, well, her business has money coming into it. It's not a lot, but at least we can say, okay, money is coming in.
We could give her some credit to try to get her in debt. So
yes.
Yeah. And then you be smart with that credit. Don't be silly with it. But okay.
So what strategies would you say would make more sense to manage your debt in a way that it won't like overwhelm you or drive you crazy, if you will?
I would say the snowball method. You pay the smaller balances off first, and then you move to the higher ones. If you have a balance that's 100, you have a balance that's 1,000, you have a balance that's 5,000. Knock out the 100, knock out the other one. Then you work on the higher balances. And also, you should make at least 2 to 3 payments per month on your debt. You make one payment for your credit card 15 days before the due date, and another 3 to 4 days before it's due, because that way the credit agencies and the credit bureaus will report it as 2 payments and your credit score will go up much higher.
Oh wow.
It's a fact. I've done it.
Do you
So
also have to pay attention to cycle dates and certain
Yes.
dates of hits interest?
Yes.
And what are
You pay it
those?
right before the statement date is printed. Yes. You can call up your credit card company and ask them, what's my cycle date? You pay it right before that date because it will get 2 payments for the 1 month.
okay. So with that, when you say 2 payments, let's say one
Mhm.
payment you pay, like
Mhm.
would you recommend like making 2 payments of the minimum balance, or like let's say your
Never pay
minimum.
the minimum. Never pay the minimum on anything. Always pay more. Always pay at least, if you can, 2 to 3 times the minimum.
How
So
about I
like
say it?
so what
Pretty
I'm
much all
saying,
my shit I pay like whatever I break everything down in the middle. So let's say I got to pay
Mm-hmm.
250, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of paying 125, I pay like 140 each time. That way it's
Mm-hmm.
extra going against
yeah,
the what is it, the principal,
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm making my credit because my credit shot up. When somebody told me this years ago, my shit
yeah.
shot up like crazy. Contrary to popular belief, I got good credit as a black
Mm-hmm.
man. Fuck y'all, it's possible.
Uh-huh.
Just
Uh-huh.
Well,
saying.
we
yeah,
didn't know because you
yeah,
leave that tooth open. We didn't
yeah.
know.
We thought you was just
Mm-hmm.
Fuck
saving up to go
you,
to the
Miss
dentist.
Cleo.
Y'all get on
So
my entire.
so so Raw, let me ask you something though. Like, do you have gap insurance?
Oh, this what we doing. This what we
He just
doing.
gonna keep going.
Okay. No, I'm in the black like
Blanket.
you, nigga.
So Stacy, so what I was
Yes.
asking though, like let's say
Mm-hmm.
your minimum monthly payment is $50, right?
Mm-hmm. You should not pay
So
that. Never
so
pay the minimum.
if if I did 3 payments of $50 in a month, like is like would that be helpful? Like
Yes.
obviously, so that's what I was saying. Like when you're
Mm-hmm.
doing those multiple payments, would it be wise to pay the minimum 3 times or 2 times or however many payments you're gonna make in a month, rather than
You
like
can.
I
You
wanna I
can.
wanna add a little extra on top.
You
So like,
can.
cause I do that with my mortgage. I always pay extra on my mortgage
Mm-hmm.
just because I'm trying to get out of that motherfucker before 30 years
Mm-hmm.
so I can
Mm-hmm.
enjoy life. But
Right.
I never
Or
thought
if you
about
can
that.
pay it in full every month, is always better too with credit
Yeah,
cards. Because really, in reality, you should not use a credit card to the threshold. Like if you have $1,000 limit, you should
yeah,
only use 10%. I know they
yeah,
say 30%, but for me, I do 10%. And when I work with clients, I tell them to bring it down to 10%. And they
yeah,
see, you shouldn't use your credit card to the max. If it's a
yeah,
thousand, you should not be spending it to 1,000
yeah.
unless you're paying it off every month.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me ask you
Oh,
this, and this is
mhm,
this is something that, whoo, this is something, one of those questions, right? For some reason, it's hard, it's difficult, it's almost impossible for
mhm.
people to speak to their other half when it comes to money, which I find to be crazy. Because if we in this together, me and you should be able to have a conversation about anything. And at the end of the day, we deal with finances, right? So, how would you, as a money expert, explain to somebody how do they approach the conversation with their other half when it comes to money?
You have to, and you have to be upfront, and you have to do it from the beginning. I look at it like this: if you're with a partner, let's say it's a woman, and the man that you're with, he doesn't help you pay bills, he doesn't do anything in the household, he's not working. You really think by you getting married, it's going to change things? It's not going to change. He's
It
not going
actually
to be
makes
working,
shit
he's
worse
not
the
going to
more time.
contribute. It's not going to change. You have to be upfront from the beginning, and people need to
I
talk
like how
about their
you said
finances.
he's not going to
and
contribute, but keep going.
and married couples need to talk about taxes also. That is very crucial. You need to talk about how you're going to file your taxes before you're even married. It's crucial, it's important, because a lot of times people think you don't have to file together because you're married. There's no legal reason that you have to file together. Nowhere is written that you have to file together. It's just something that people
I was
do.
about to say, people just assume that once you get married and you start matching clothes, you got to file
Yeah.
taxes together.
No,
You
No.
think,
because remember,
Or
you're
one
going to
of them
be at a
matching
higher
clothes.
tax bracket. If you
yeah,
both make
Right. If you
50,000,
combined it.
but
it's a
if
higher
you,
tax bracket. And also,
yeah,
if your spouse owes anything, they're taking all of that
You
money.
owe.
yeah,
You owe.
but if
You
you, if you, so what I was told by our finance person when I got married was
Hmm.
if you make significantly more than your spouse, then you should file separate. But if y'all make pretty close together, you should file joint.
No, that is incorrect. And I hate to hear people say that. That is incorrect. Because remember, if you're making 100,000, your wife is making 100,000. Now you're going to be at a $200,000 tax bracket, which is almost 24%. Anything over 125 is a 24% rate for being taxed. That is untrue. That is untrue. There's no legal reason why people should file together. Especially if you have kids, you have 2 kids, each spouse takes a kid, you'll get back more money. Realistically, you're going to get back more money.
Wow.
That's
So
false.
I myself and Tasha definitely got some questions that still need to be asked. But we got another segment we got to get to. We got to run through our segments. And we already know what's about to happen. It's going down.
Hell, we like them thick, like a bowl of grits. First of all, you already know she don't give a fuck. Second, you can best believe she gonna talk her shit. And third, it's Freddie. Who the fuck knows where this about to go? But let's get into Celebrity Wire with Dunkosaurus Rex herself, the foxy Freddie Montaco.
I like that you starting to enjoy your intro now. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed my intro. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I still don't give 2 Fruit Loops about these celebrities, but you forced me to look them up and whatever. So I like that we're talking about mental health and finances as well. And I love the segue because we talking about our girl B Simone, no relation at all, and her friend. So B Simone is receiving backlash after an episode of her podcast where her friend, it was B Simone's podcast, and her friend Shekina. This is how you spell her name, and I'm not Shekinah. Shekina. That's what it spells. Shekina. So
She kind of wrong.
Exactly. We're gonna talk about it though. But her friend revealed that she was broke, her car was repossessed, she was in the food stamp line, she had to move in with her parents, while B Simone, her so-called friend, was making bank. She watched her give people checks, and she's sitting there really broke. And the internet was giving B Simone the blues, saying she's not a good friend because she didn't help her. So like, since we're talking about finances, mental health and everything, what do you guys think? Should B Simone have helped her friend, and in what capacity? I want to hear Stacy's opinion. Have you ever helped a friend? Have you was making bank, you getting all your contracts and everything signed, checks is rolling in, and your friend is like, "What me? I had to move in with my parents. I had to be on food stamps. I'm a single mom," and you just like, how would you have you had that situation happen?
Money breaks up friendships. People don't realize that money breaks up friendships. It breaks up families. It breaks up marriages. And for me personally, I just feel like you should not involve money in your friendship at all.
So
that's just my
would
take
let
on
your
things.
friend be broke. Like, you would just see your friend on hard times and just be like, "Oh, girl," or like, I don't know.
Sometimes people put themselves in that situation. You have to look at why did they end up like that.
And
is
that's
it just them being
lazy? Yep. And that's what I was just gonna get to, because perhaps she was tired of helping her, and she kind of her name, she probably kind of didn't pay her rent. She probably kind of was chilling too much. She probably kind of didn't want to go get a job and take care of herself.
She kind
of flaky.
Yeah.
It's like when you work with people and when it's payday, they're going shopping on their lunch break, and the next day you see them asking you for $5 for lunch.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
And it could be something where I don't want to be an enabler. I saw you doing all of that shopping and stuff, and I'm not going to placate, you know what I'm saying, and play into it.
So
Right.
here's how I think about it, because like I always had this conversation with my friends, right? Like if I ever got to the level with this music that I could financially do that for a living. If it's something like, okay, my mom got cancer and her treatments are X amount and we don't have the money, right? I would probably help. But if it's a situation where you've been irresponsible, or like it's a life change, like my contribution would change your life, no. But like on the other side of it, it's like I wouldn't completely, like if I had the ability to help change somebody's life financially, I'm gonna offer it in a different way. I'm not gonna just give you the money. Okay, I'm gonna do like Ludacris did with his homeboy. He's like, Chris, I'm down bad, man. Blah blah blah. Chris, I'll pay for you to go to school to be a chef, and then I'll hire you to be my chef. I'll pay for you to go to school to be a lawyer, like LeBron did for Rich, and then you be my agent. You're gonna work. I'm not gonna just give it to you.
Right.
And then if you work for me and you still end up in that circumstance, that's all on you.
Now I was gonna say also too, I'm helping you learn some other stuff and know how to be professional, so you can go on to make your own money too. Like, but
I'm gonna keep it funky, right? In that whole situation, I get it. Your folks was fucked up. You may or may not help. You may or may not help. But one thing I wouldn't do in that situation is put myself as trying to put me as the super victim. I think in that situation, right after this, she will or won't. She was basically explaining how fucked up she was, and for B Simone to turn around and say something like, "Oh well," and start crying. "Oh, I'm so fucked up. I couldn't shop at Bloomingdale's. I gotta go shop at, I think, H&M or something like that."
She said I had to go to Bloomingdale's or something, and I had to, because she doesn't have liquid money. She doesn't have cash. She doesn't. She's not doesn't have the ability to go in and go shopping because she's investing right now, and it's still like
So what I wouldn't do is to me, I took that as, if this your folks, don't jab at your folks. You know what I mean? Because this your folks, and you see that they fucked up and they explain in this vulnerable moment, and you turn around and you use yourself as the victim, as saying that not even a me too. It's like, you fucked up, but I'm fucked up, but I might not be as fucked up as you, but I'm gonna look at it the same way you do, even though we not on the same level. I think to me, that's the type of shit that break up friendships.
Like,
because it's not like, if we both fucked up, we both
Mm-hmm.
fucked up. I get it. But don't tell me you fucked up in a way that you still way higher than me, but you want me to give you sympathy for not being as fucked up as me, even though I'm fucked up. That's
It'd be
the
like,
shit I looked at it as like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Like, I wouldn't do that to my folks.
It'd be like if you were like, damn, man, I'm so fucked up, I can't even get a hot dog right now. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I couldn't even get that Lamborghini I wanted. I know how you feel.
Right. Facts. So it's like, first of all, your friend's name is Shikana. How you think she was really going to get employment with that name? So that's also there out there like that. And so for me, like you said, Raw, how do you show up? You just said how you show up for your friends. You just like, you listen to them, and I'm not going to one up your problem with my problems, because we all fucked up right here in this situation. So like, when you were vulnerable with a friend or something, and like you couldn't be vulnerable, or if you're not able to be vulnerable, let me put it like that. If you're not able to be vulnerable with the people that are close to you, that you call your friend, are they really your friend?
Nah.
Yeah, if I can't get with you, if I can't get naked with you, we not friends. And I don't mean naked. I mean,
well, last week, man, a couple weeks you was talking about R. Kelly piss.
Never. Never.
Y'all know,
about R. Kelly piss.
Especially not with Hector.
Naked. Jesus. You never know with Hector. You just never know.
But no, and that's what I'm saying. Like some friends, and do you have those level of friends? Like you can be, or all your friends 100%. You could be vulnerable with, like, and I'm not talking about coworkers and shit like that. I'm talking about like, well, I know my one friend I can share my freaky stuff with him, and my other friend I can share like my craziness with them. Like, I want to go slash a nigga's tires or some shit like that. I can share that with that friend.
I make
So
it a habit.
if I've never shared anything intimate about myself with you, I can't consider you a friend.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just me. Like I gotta, in order for me to give you a title as friend, I need to feel like I can talk to you about anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got the one friend who I consider a brother. But there's certain things I can't talk to him about, not because I don't feel like I can. I don't think it's appropriate with his position. Like he's a pastor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so certain things I'm like,
Oh.
I'm just like, bro, can you pray for me? Because I'm going through something, but I know that you don't want this information falling on your ears, kind of thing.
Pastors are people. Pastors are
I was
people.
gonna say they're still human, but I will preface a conversation like, hey, I'm about to take you into the my taco
Oh,
mine.
yeah, I gotta make sure you hit space for me to
Yeah,
whatever I'm
Ain't
saying.
had a
exactly.
mental mind moment in forever. We got to make this happen soon.
Hey, you want one right now? Real quick, just real quick, because I had it written down. Who eats cracklings?
I do.
I
I
used
hope
to.
nobody.
I used to.
You still got your teeth?
Yeah,
Cause
I
damn.
still do.
So
most of them.
like
Wait,
legit.
Hold on. Time out. We all these fucking teeth jokes y'all got tonight. What we got going on?
Did you miss that, Freddie? But he's like,
I did miss that one. I'm
he still
sorry.
got his teeth. I was like, most of them.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, I didn't hear that one. Hey, we on the road right now.
Yo.
All right. So look, cracklings in my mental mind because my homegirl gave me a bag of cracklings and I was like, bitch, I ain't ate these in forever. And I put one in my mouth and I was like, oh my, no, I'm not doing that. And I looked at the bag and cracklings are fried out verbatim. I quote, fried out pork fat with attached skin.
Yeah.
Let me
And they
repeat that
fucking
again.
delicious.
Fried out pork fat with attached skin. The ingredients. Pork fat with attached skin.
Yeah.
Get
Salt,
you some chili lime and tell me that shit ain't changed your life.
monosodium, blah blah, and red pepper. This whole bag has salt and cholesterol and fat. It has no other ingredients or nutrition. It has 15% cholesterol, 85% salt. Like, are
Zero
you dead
carb,
serious?
zero carb.
Carbs.
Look.
And then it got the nerve on the back to be saying we saving the planet, planting one tree at a time. And then it had the scripture of John 3:16 on the back, talking about whoever gave his one begotten son for forever in heaven. And you like, yeah, you
First of
keep
all,
eating these
where the
fucking
fuck did you
cracklings,
get
you
the
gonna be
only
there.
bag of holy cracklings from?
Listen. Them from the South. So
Holy
that goes hand
cracklings.
in hand. Crackling
I
come
know
from the
it
Bible
does.
Belt. It come from the Bible
Sure.
Belt. So
I
you
know
know
it
it's
does.
gonna
I
have.
thought you was gonna say cracklings came from the Bible.
No.
Yeah.
It's from the Bible Belt. You know Billy Bob and them down there
Yeah,
in
what I'm saying
South
is it
Carolina.
don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. And then it got the scripture on the back talking about being forever in heaven. Yeah, after you eat,
that's where you're gonna be. You eat enough crackling, you get to
crackling, you're going to be cracking in heaven.
Just make sure that you acknowledge that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that He died for your sins, and you eat all the crackling you want, and you get to meet Him.
And you're in.
I just so that was my mental mind moment, guys. I'm done. I'm sorry. You can take this big screen off of me, bro. I got the big face.
I've got, and I don't know if it's a bad habit or if it's a protection, but I am not good with meeting people where they are. So when I am making friends or deciding who's going to be my friend, I don't know if it's a bad habit or not. Like, if I cannot be completely vulnerable with you, you probably can't be my friend.
Sometimes when people
That's
are being
fair.
vulnerable, people see it as a red flag. And I think we got to get out of that whole red flag mentality with people, because there
Everything's a
are
red flag,
real
man.
red flags. There are how people react and respond to certain things are red flags. But when somebody is, and I know like trauma dumping is not something you want to do on the Fred, like when you first meet somebody, you don't want to just give all your shit
I do
away.
that shit all the time.
But at the same time, like, that's not a red flag. If you meet somebody and they're telling you something very intimate about themselves, and like, oh fuck, that's a red flag. She did not have to tell me she got 9 baby daddies.
Nah, that's a good energy about you.
Yeah, that
That's
don't
what
make
it is sometimes.
that don't make them a bad person or toxic person. They're just very open about certain shit. But what we got to start looking at is how people react to things when we're talking about red flags, how people respond to things, because that's really how you know when y'all go on that girl's trip or that guy's trip, and so get mad because you didn't pay for the drinks because they spent all their money. That's a red flag.
So Chuck,
because that going back to she kind of didn't budget her trip correctly, and that's not my fault.
So I'm one of those people where I'll text a motherfucker, yo, how are you? And people hit me back with the, oh, I'm good. And then I got to respond back again with, no, how are you? And then I got to go into how's your mentals? How's your body? So when I ask people this, people be like, yo, like, I don't be having people ask me those type of questions. Why do you think so many people have trained themselves that when people say, how are you? Or what's up with you? That they just instantly say I'm good versus actually saying about themselves? Why do you think we as people train ourselves to do that?
Because most oftentimes we don't believe that the gesture is genuine.
Yep.
Because we are, again, conditioned by an environment that no one really gives a fuck about you. So someone asking you how you really doing, it's a prelude to, oh, okay, but I need you to do this.
Yep, exactly.
So it's hard to differentiate sincerity from fuck shit.
Yeah.
But that comes with knowing who you're dealing with. And friend is a serious word as love is. And people like to use the word love loosely and use the word friend even looser. Like everyone isn't your friend.
Yep.
The biggest things I taught my children growing up, they are your classmates. They are not your friends. You don't see them outside of this 8 hours. If you're not going to Little Johnny house on the weekends and y'all not politicking, y'all just classmates.
Facts.
We have to learn to figure out where people are. Associate, homie, that's my man. Oh, that's really my friend, because most oftentimes friends are considered to be family because friends have that much of a significance in your life. I can go to a friend's house and go in this refrigerator. I can go use a bathroom without having to ask. So friendship is more than just we have common interests. We like to get drunk. We like to look at titties. We like to ride motorcycles. We like to shoot pool. Like, it's so much more than that. We oversimplify things a lot. That's why when you're being sincere, people are not used to you sincerity.
And I need to know how you are. I need to know how you are.
Yeah. And as I think that's the part that be fucking me up, because it's like I'm one of those motherfuckers. Everybody, I'm raw and uncut at all fucking times. And motherfuckers know this about me, but then still reply to the shit weirdly. And it's like, nah, motherfucker. And I'll literally say in the text, nah, motherfucker, how are you? Like, how's your fucking mentals?
In defense,
I just want to know if you all right, motherfucker.
In everybody's defense, though, Raw, your text messages be what to be like.
Shut
It
the
be
fuck
real.
up, Freddie. We get it. Y'all hate my educational text messages.
Hey, nah.
The nigga went to Dr. Umar school.
Would they be like Freddie? Would they be like Freddie?
They be like to the letter B lowercase. What is WUT? What? Just spell it out.
But you knew what the fuck I was saying.
Ard. Some Philly shit. I can't stand that
Ard. But yo, my
so like, I was gonna say to piggyback off the to piggyback off of Raw though, like it's crazy because I'll be that person really out the blue, like, hey, hope you have a great day or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I won't talk to him for a month, but out the blue, I don't want nothing. I want nothing at all. But that message hits them and they be like, man, I needed that today. Okay, good. I'm happy you had that. But sometimes it's like you offer that sincerity and that real empathy connection moment and they think it's fake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to be like, why you trying to be defensive and stuff? And I'm like, nah, I did want to help you, but now you weird.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? And it is unfortunate because that's how the condition of the world is.
My God.
With friendships, like my energy is insane.
Yeah.
Everybody can't have it.
Yeah.
Right.
My godfather taught me something years ago. He said, when you see somebody and you ask them how they're doing, and when they respond, no matter how they respond, you listen. Because what happens is a lot of times we just in passing say, good morning, how you doing? So like I started doing this where like on the phone, I'll call I gotta call a company about something, right? And they answer the phone like, good morning, how you doing? And I wait until the motherfucker responds to that question.
Me too.
Dude, you know how many I can clearly hear in motherfuckers' voice, they be annoyed when I do that shit. Because I'll literally say, good morning, how's your day going? And they'll just be silent.
Summer shocked.
And then I'll say it again. So how's your day going? Like, fuck you mean? Like, just answer the fucking question.
That's all you.
Because we forget we're humans. People are forgetting that we're humans, and we're all in this just this state of keeping going in these cycles. We're not being intentional. We're not intentionally connecting with people. We're not intentionally saving our money because we're an autopilot. We're just like, get up every day, scroll, do this, do that, go to work, pay a bill. We just got to stop and be intentional with what we're doing.
Yeah, his whole point was people don't really care how each other are doing. It's just being courteous. And you can be courteous just by saying good morning then. Like if you're gonna ask somebody how they're doing, you really, that's an intentional question. You really need to pay attention to the answer. And they might not ask back.
I honestly genuinely care about how
that's cool. I'm cool with you not asking back.
Yeah.
So I know Tasha, you got a question for Chuck because I definitely got another. We definitely way past time, and
this is a good episode. I enjoyed myself. This is a great conversation.
Chuck, because I didn't know when we were ending, and we do have the tendency to go overtime sometimes. I just wanted to make sure I got a last question in for you. So, if you were to compare like men's mental health to a car, what would you say? What are some warning lights that men may be ignoring and that you would ask that they check in on before it's too late?
That's a hell of a fucking question, son.
That's crazy.
I would say one of the most often overlooked warning signs is the TPMS, tire pressure monitor system. It looks like a orange little light bulb. And that's where men's mental health is. Okay, I got enough air to get to where I got to get to.
Ooh.
I'll get to it when I get to it, but I got to get to where I got to get to. What I've learned on my personal journey is you have to invest in yourself. And investing in yourself requires selfishness. And being selfish isn't a bad thing. Saying no isn't a dirty word. It is making sure that you're good. And the people who fuck with you will fuck with you, and the people who don't won't. And you don't have to chase people to be your friend. You don't have to chase people to be in your space. You know who fuck with you and who don't fuck with you. And you don't have to not fuck with the people who don't fuck with you. You just have to fuck with them how they fuck with you.
And y'all understood that.
Reciprocation is a wonderful tool.
It's the greatest tool because that's what life is. It's a two-way street. Nobody, DMX said it best. Nobody likes to be played regardless of the relationship. So if we friends, don't abuse my friendship because you know I'm caring and I'm giving. Don't abuse my friendship because you know I'll pop off so you start shit. Don't abuse my friendship because you know I'm non-confrontational, so you think you can take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, friendship is serious, and who you interact with, the energy that they give off, is who you should align with. And it isn't about how long you've known a person, and it isn't about if y'all share the same blood. It's about who treats you how you treat you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes life a lot easier.
Agreed. There was a line in a movie. I don't know if y'all remember this movie, but for colored girls. And I think towards the end of that movie, the ladies went around in that circle, and it was like, my love is to fill in the blank to have thrown back in my face. So I kind of have one for the fellas, if y'all would participate. But the statement is, Black men deserve blank even when they don't know how to ask for it. So what would your blank be?
Understanding. We are the most misunderstood people walking the planet because we are victims of everything. We are victims of our size. We are a victim of our intellect. We are a victim of our features. We are a victim just because people are scared of us. And when people are scared of you, they do mean shit to you.
They do.
I've been asked this question multiple times. What are you scared of? And my answer never changes. White people's imagination.
That part.
That's deep.
Nina Simone made a song called Strange Fruit. And in the lyrics, she said,
yes,
black bodies swinging from the trees. So we are always at war. And the disconnect between men and women is we got to fight when we go out. We don't want to have to fight when we come in. And it's not going to always be pretty because we don't have the capacity to always be pretty. And if women understood that it's not personal, it's not an attack, or it's not an affront to you, it's let me figure out how I need to fuck this dog, and I'm going to get right back to you to make it all make sense. But if you're browbeating me, I can't get my thoughts together. And now what you're saying starts to ring true because it's all incomplete. You're not giving me the time to complete it because you don't understand my fight. So understanding is one of those things that men need.
Easy. Black men deserve blank even when they don't know how to ask for it.
I want to say space. And not just from our significant others, but everybody in our lives, because I think a lot of times when we detach ourselves from the world, people see that as we are pulling away from them when we are really pulling into ourselves. And the people that we're closest to don't allow us to have that space. They always need us. Our wives want us. Our girlfriends need our attention all the time. Our kids need it. Our moms, our friends. And sometimes we need space to reconnect with ourselves. And we don't know how to ask for that. Like I learned how to ask for that from my wife because during COVID, it was us. It was we stuck in this house together. And if I didn't learn how to ask for it, we wouldn't be married. And one of us might be in jail because it was just a time. I was like, get the fuck away from me before I hurt you. You're annoying the shit out of me right now. And I think in all of our relationships, even at work, it's like, give me some space. Because people don't understand the shit that we care. I remember when I was in one of my graduate programs, one of the things that my professor kept saying is, be kind to people because you don't know what they're carrying in their trunk. And she told this whole story about this lady having a trunk and unpacking the trunk and all these different things coming out of the trunk and like people giving her shit because she was dragging it and couldn't carry it. And there's all these things that was making it heavy. It's like, be kind because you never know what people have in their trunk. And sometimes we go into the workspace and people want to make little microaggressive jokes.
Mm-hmm.
People want to talk to us about the weekend. They want to talk about sports, and then when we don't want to talk, we appear standoffish. Like I don't know why. I don't know why this guy is so mean and standoffish and unapproachable. And it's like, no, I need space. I need to be able to connect with myself so I can connect with people better.
Right.
Raw. Black men deserve blank, even when they don't
Grace.
know how to ask for it.
Grace.
A tooth. Oh.
Oof. That's Freddie. That must
Y'all,
be Freddie. That's
don't worry about it. They know that they gonna live through this shit for the next fucking month. They know what they setting themselves up for. They fucking know it. That's why they try and double team a nigga tonight. Pause. But it is what it is.
Hey, I
But
gotta have fun with my poly. I gotta have fun with the poly.
Roger that. I think as black men, the one thing that we need, deserve, and rarely ever get is grace. I think a lot of times we give more grace than people think, and people don't understand that. There's a lot of times I could just speak for myself. It's a lot of shit that I want to say, as unfiltered as people know me as to be. People don't realize 97% of the shit that come in my head I don't actually say because I give a lot of people grace all the time. So the 3% that you do get, motherfuckers be wondering like, damn, like, why would you say that? How could you say that? It's like, dude, imagine what I could have said.
Man.
Imagine what I would have said. Then at the same time, like Easy said, a lot of times, how about this? This is the easiest way to put it, right? A lot of y'all don't understand that you are not the only person on the planet. There's a lot
Right.
of people,
That
men
part.
and women. They forget that you're not the only person on the planet. So you think the way that you think is the way everybody should think. The way that you act is the way everybody else is supposed to act. We all different motherfuckers. It's times where you in the gym and you watching a motherfucker work out and you just, oh, because I'm me, I should be able to get in your way. Or I should be able to stop you from doing what you're doing. You're not the only person on the planet. Give that other person enough grace to do what they're doing, to be effective, to work in the way that they need to work. It's a lot of people that walk into jobs every day and say, well, they don't work the way that I work. They don't have to work the way that you work. They're not the same person as you. We all don't deal with money the same way. I'm not a spender. My wife, a spender like a motherfucker. It is what it is. But do I look at her and say, no, why the fuck is you spending all that money? No. Long as the bill's getting paid, do what the fuck you do. How can I be upset with you because I don't like to spend money? I think as men, we give way more grace than we actually get back in return. And I think people need to actually look at that, see that, and pay attention to that. Because then you'll understand you ain't the only motherfucker on this planet. There's other people around you.
I might be the
There's a
only
lot
one.
of us
It's
here. We
a
all taking
trillion
up space.
people for real.
We all taking up space. Your space ain't the only. You don't have all the space. We all sharing this motherfucker.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It is what the fuck it is. So we didn't ran way past time, but I got one more question, right? And this question is for Stacy and for Chuck because I feel like I don't think neither one of y'all gonna be. I ain't gonna say y'all not gonna be on the same wavelength with this, but I want to hear the different perspective from a money person and from a mental health perspective of it. Say again.
I just said interesting.
Yeah. So my question to y'all is this: how can I ain't gonna say me? How can anybody, a person in general, let's just make it super generic. How can a person protect their mental health during a financial setback or an unexpected expense, regardless of how big or how small?
I would say people should always be prepared. The reason why a lot of people end up in financial distress is because they're not prepared. You always have to be prepared. What if I lose my job? What am I going to do? What if I'm not working? How am I going to pay my rent? What if I'm not working? How am I going to pay my car? You have to always have a plan. And I think people they have no plan. They just don't have a plan. You have to say, if I'm not working, how am I going to pay my bills? What is my backup plan? Am I going to get a loan from the bank? Am I going to ask someone for a loan? Am I going to get a business loan to pay? You have to have a plan. That's my take on it. You have to have a plan in life. What are you going to do? If I'm not working, what is my plan? If my business fails, what's my plan?
What if you that super spontaneous person that you don't know how to plan or can't plan, or it's just not in your heart to be a planner?
Well, if you can't plan, that's why they have professionals that you hire to help you, like a coach. You help a financial coach, a business coach. If you can't do it for yourself, hire someone. And I think people are scared to do that, or they feel like
And
they're not smart if I seek help from someone to help me like balance my bills. A lot of
who should
people
they
do not have a business and they have a bookkeeper.
who should they
There's nothing
hire?
wrong with that.
Who should they hire?
Me.
I thought you was gonna say a little bit more and go ahead and plug that shit, but
A professional.
that was
Hire
the
someone.
goal.
Hire a professional, a business coach, a mentor. A book. You could hire a bookkeeper. You don't have to have a business to have a bookkeeper. You know, hire a professional. If you can't do it yourself, hire a professional. Go to your bank. Maybe your banker can help you.
Now, fuck that. They should be talking to you and tell them why.
Seek seek professional help. I think people should always seek professional help when it comes to finances. If you feel like things are out of control, seek help.
Roger that. Chuck, same question.
I will concur with preparation and I will add clarity. We know when we're in crisis. We already know what we have to do. We are uncomfortable doing it. So we have to be clear on why we're doing it. And if you are unclear on any aspect of your life, your entire life will be in crisis. Like clarity is the goal. Freedom is what we all say we want. We want to be able to do this. We want to be able to do that. How do you attain that freedom? You have to be clear on what it's going to take to get to that freedom. In order to be clear, you have to be honest. Well, I probably shouldn't get the next 3 pair of J's that drop since I got 25 pair already.
I feel like
and 8 of them is the same J's, just different.
I have to be clear on why I'm in this position. And the only way you can be clear is to be honest. And no one can be more honest with you than you, because you can lie to everybody else. But the person that looks back in the mirror, you can't lie to that person because he or she already knows.
Yo, it's amazing how many times I tell people you can lie to everybody on the planet. You can lie to me 1,000 times. You can't lie to yourself. And motherfuckers look at me like, what the fuck does that even mean? And I'm like,
but you know how many
what I just
people
said. There's no other way to explain it to you.
You know how many people do lie to themselves on a daily
basis? Daily basis.
Everybody, not how many. We all lie every day.
At some point, for sure.
Little white lies, big lies, lies of omission. We all
that man gonna come and
right
now,
me out.
But I'm talking about people that will like lie to themselves to a point where they believe this lie they tell themselves. They're
delusional.
That's denial. That's not delusion. Like a lot of words get a bad rap. That's not delusion. That's denial. Like when you check your bank statement and it say you negative 200, you can't say, "Oh, the bank made an error."
No.
That last purchase is what took you to where you at today.
Right.
So that's not delusion. That's denial. And again, people are unwilling to be honest with the person that matters. And the only person that matters in our lives is ourselves. If you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anyone else, and you can't have productive relationships.
Roger that.
That's a fucking fact. All right, man, let's get the fuck out of here because I can see this conversation going about 6-7 hours at this point, and we ain't here.
Not
for
really, because I'm tired.
This is a conference right here. This is some shit that I would pay $300 to go sit through 8 hours.
I'm glad we did this. I'm really glad that
I'm glad we did it. But I wasn't about to be sitting here for 3 more hours.
The goal was for us to talk about men's mental health, and this is Men's Mental Health Month, and it's crazy that when I've said this to numerous people be like, what the fuck does that even mean? And I'm like, damn, that's crazy that we give again, so much grace to everybody else. But when you say some shit like men's mental health, people like, man, that shit don't mean nothing. What the fuck is we talking about? Why is we even thinking about that?
Well, you said last week it was in May anyway, so we way fucking late.
I said women's
Oh, women's. Okay.
mental health. And I'm gonna shit on y'all for a whole fucking month. Fuck that shit, Freddie. I'm shitting on y'all heavy. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you
That's next
now.
year, right? May next
Yep.
year.
And that's I'm a Taurus, so I'm going hard.
But here's the
Telling you
thing.
now, Freddie.
So
Pause.
wait, it starts somewhere. So why don't you be the catalyst to the positivity and stuff? Why you got shit on us?
I
Why don't
sprinkle
you
in a little
start it?
bit.
You be the
I would
change. You be the change, Raw.
That
just a
you
little
want.
bit.
With all the arms and shit. You be the change.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Help that.
But we about to get the fuck out of here. And as y'all know,
Yeah.
this that time where everybody get to talk their shit. Let everybody know who you are, what you got going on, what makes you who you are. And if you want a motherfucker to find you, let them the fuck know. You know what I'm saying? Call her now.
For your free reading.
Hey, man. Hey, it is Freddie Simone, the Matako lady. Matako Yemis. Listen, you can catch me each and every Wednesday if you're in Marysville, Ohio. Trivia Goodness just
You
started
finally
back
figured
up.
out where the fuck that shit at?
Yeah, it's actually next to a place called New California, a new little locality they just made up. Look, I don't know. I'm just driving out there making some money and talking to some people to make some more money. So you can catch me each and every Wednesday there. July the 12th, I'll be at Wild and Out Shinky's event. I got to get her on this show too. She's a TikTok sensation from Columbus, Ohio, and it's her birthday, and it's like a Wild and Out type of show that we're going to do. So that's going to be fun. You can also catch me at the Columbus Comedy Festival. That is in September 4th and 5th. I'm in the two kickoff shows. And you can also catch me on YouTube. I have some clips. I'm trying to get better at my social media presence so y'all can see my funny, but it's just an experience. I'm a whole vibe. Catch me. I'm Columbus's own Freddie Simone. I'm always talking shit on the microphone. Thanks, bro.
Roger the fuck that. Darkness.
Yeah. You already know what time it is. Time of darkness to bring y'all into the light. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Easy the General. It's Easy EY. Right now, I got a show coming up in August 29th. I'm doing a show for a birthday bash for a local DJ. I'm on the performance list at Bar Red. The week before that, Rapping Forte gonna be in the house, so I'm trying to get on that bill also. So we'll see if that happens. I'm working on my next project. In the booth right now, recording. It should be done by the end of summer with everything, but it'll be the Book of Easy Part 2 or Chapter 2. And then just catch me here every Saturday night. For right now, that's the motion in the ocean. So it is what it is.
Roger the fuck that shit.
My name is Stacy, and you can reach me at Stacy Talks Money Podcast on Instagram. You can email me, stacytalksmoney@gmail. And if you need help with your finances, taxes, bookkeeping, all the money stuff, business formation, definitely reach out to me.
Roger the fuck that. Stacy, I definitely want to bring you back towards the end of the year for sure. So we
Sure.
could deep dive into some taxes type shit. Cause I heard you on Whatever by Hectic. And one thing you were talking about is how you should be looking at your taxes way before a couple days before the shit is over.
You
And
can't
I
wait.
think a lot of
You
people
can't
wait
wait.
till fucking April fucking 3rd. Oh shit, I got 12 days. Let me try to figure all this shit the fuck out. And then they wonder why they're getting fucked over.
You have
So
to
I want to
tax
bring
plan from now. I'm working with people now for their taxes for next year. You have to start early. You can't wait.
Yeah, so I think if we look at towards the end of the year, it'll help people.
Yeah.
Let's say November, December time frame.
Yeah.
That's
November,
when you
yeah.
should really kind of like buckle in. Look at all your
Mhm.
back shit, start getting ready for shit. Cause
Yeah.
you know what I mean? All y'all motherfuckers doing all that overtime in December looking
It
for
comes
Christmas
quick.
ain't realizing you
Yeah.
fucking your shit up.
Mhm. comes quick.
Facts. Chuck, talk your shit, son.
I'm nowhere. I'm just getting back into what I did. I took a
You somewhere, baby. Don't say I'm nowhere.
I don't really do too much social media. I took a break from mental health because I was burnt out myself. So I'm starting to get back into helping and providing therapy because we all need help. And my job is not to fix anyone, it's to help you process information. So as I get more fluent, I will share my contact information.
Roger that, man. I think one thing's for certain, two things for sure. As black men, we believe that our mental health ain't worth shit because everybody tell us that your mental health don't matter. They brush our shit off and don't pay attention to us. And they treat us as if we supposed to be this rock. And then when we show that we not just a rock, we get turned into a bitch. So it makes us turn into the rock. And y'all wonder why we become a rock. It's amazing how that fucking works. It's fucking amazing how that fucking works. Ladies, y'all got to stop pretending like niggas don't got emotions. Black men, just men in general. Men have emotions. A lot of times we'll tell y'all exactly how we feel. And y'all say, you don't really feel like that. And then we say, you know what? I'll never tell you to fuck again. And then you say, oh, well, you never opened up to me. But when I opened up to you, you didn't want it. You weren't acceptable to it. You didn't give a fuck about it. So why would I do it again? Why would a man keep doing something that he know does not work?
Violence is proof that men have emotions.
Ooh.
That's a fucking fact.
Ooh.
Fuck all that. Trump is proof that niggas got emotions.
My God. My God.
Y'all wonder if dudes got emotions? Look at Trump and that'll tell you everything you need to know. But this has been a hell of an episode. We way past where we supposed to be. So y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the ways.
Whoa. You gotta let Tasha talk her shit.
My bad. Listen, I'm looking at times and I'm like, holy shit. My bad, rhythm and blues. Talk your shit.
So since we talking about Trump, when him and Elon started beefing on the X, I revived my Twitter account. So all social, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever it's called now, except for Facebook. Facebook, I'm Latasha Stokes. Everywhere else, I'm Rhythm and Blues. My TikTok be rocking a little bit. I might be looking into that a little deeper, but Rhythm and Blues, blues with a Z at the end.
Okay. Is it just Rhythm and Blues? Is it some hashtags? Some
I think it's some underscore.
some slashes or some shit?
Rhythm underscore. Ooh, let me get clear on that next week.
See?
Thank y'all.
Matter of fact, here's what I'll do. I'll try to
put
make
it on her graphic.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'll try to make a point of putting up a graphic with everybody's shit in it because I'm going to be honest with you. It's two enlightened idiots and motherfuckers be like, well, which one do I follow? Shit, both of them, goddammit. Fuck you want me to say?
They twins.
I'm going to be honest with you. Regardless of which one you follow, and they both got the same shit on it. So it really don't make a difference what I tell people. And they're like, oh, but I want to make sure I follow the right one. They both got the same shit on it. It is what the fuck it is. But y'all know what it is. Y'all know the waves. We out this bitch. We'll see y'all again next motherfucker Saturday. Same time, same place, same shit. Talking this motherfuckers. So
all right,
stay enlightened, be enlightened, and you ain't gotta get enlightened. And we out this bitch.
See y'all.